gentlemen, welcome to episode 122 of the Nerds at Large Gaming Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Darby Hallman.
I'm Jeff Mayo.
And I'm special guest Jacob Hamill.
Special guest. How you gentlemen doing this fine evening?
Tired.
Sleepy. It's a sleepy cast.
I'm feeling good, man. I got the energy pumping. I'm ready. I'm excited about 2020. It just sounds like a future year.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Dude, I mean, I'm disappointed by the lack of like robots and flying cars, but you know, Final Fantasy VII Remake's coming out, so that's
2022, Darby. 2022.
Is that the year, Jeff?
That's the year.
Is that when the Cybertruck?
Oh yeah, we're gonna say everyone's gonna be driving Cybertrucks, but you know,
that's official. It's officially the future. Whenever I see a Cybertruck in the wild, that is officially the future.
Yes.
Well, anyone listening to this, please go check out the new podcast that we just dropped today, actually, or the day that we're recording this. And that is Nerds and Dragons. It's our D&D podcast that the three of us are on, as well as Alex Boone. And it's going to be a weekly actual play D&D podcast where I am writing the campaign and doing the music and doing all kinds of stuff with it. So I'm super excited about that. You can find that on all the podcast services. We'd appreciate it if you shared it around, if you enjoy it. And yeah, I'm super stoked. It's really cool. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to go some cool places, especially once we transition into the arc that I'm writing, and which will happen in Arc 2. It's going to be fun. So with that said, let's get into the episode. This is going to be not really our traditional episode. Normally we talk about the games we've been playing and then go into news. But obviously news is a little light at this time of year. And we have a whole new year of games to look forward to. So we are going to do a 2020 hype episode. We're going to go through all of the major releases of 2020 that we know about as of right now. Obviously, we won't get absolutely everything, but we're going to go through most of it. And then at the end, we're going to kind of talk about our most anticipated games and do our top 10 most anticipated games for 2020. And then that'll be a podcast episode.
Yeah. Sounds like a wrap.
Let's do it. All right, Jeff. Let's get it started.
Okay, we're going to start out strong with anime. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot coming out January 17th.
Gotta bring in the new year with anime.
It's true.
That one is an anime game, Jeff. That made the classification. It is an anime. The anime board has passed this.
See, if you're listening to this podcast and you're not from the South or South Carolina, then you might not know that it's good luck to eat black-eyed peas on New Year's Day for good luck. Hoppin' John. So just like Hoppin' John, it's also good luck to watch Dragon Ball on New Year's Day.
Yeah.
Well, I will tell you, dear listener, I am from South Carolina and have been my entire life, and I've never heard that in my life.
Really?
The eating black-eyed peas on.
No, not a real South
Carolina. Not a real Southerner here.
Is that a compliment?
You're not a real Southerner, but if you don't eat black-eyed peas and watch Dragon Ball on New Year's Day,
maybe that's why I've just never had good luck in my life. maybe that's it. So Jeff, where is the hype level of Dragon Ball Kakarot? I imagine the hype level was higher when 2020 didn't look like the best time for video games of all time.
Here's the thing that kind of sucks and where I'm conflicted with. It's like I do have time to play it because I don't have any like new thing going on until Final Fantasy in the beginning of March, which obviously we'll get to. But it's like there's still so many games that's still $60 to get the new thing, and I'm not like completely sold on the combat, which is going to be a big part of it, especially as an action RPG. But everything surrounding it that they've shown so far, I'm a big fan of. They just showed the opening sequence, which is like the kind of a recreation or whatever of the opening for one of the openings for Dragon Ball Z, which is nice and nostalgia filling and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, if I get this, it will probably be down the line, probably around Black Friday when it's on sale. If that. Probably not. Sad.
Yeah.
But I expect it to sell pretty well. How well, depending on how good it is. If it gets good reviews and all that. Because you can't doubt anime.
Never underestimate the power of anime.
But what we can underestimate, potentially, is the reception of the next game. Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE Encore, coming out the same day. I mean, January 17th.
They are taking out the vagina bone, so I don't think I can play this game for that reason.
That's fair. I was unaware of the vagina bones being taken out when I got it, and once I saw, I threw in the garbage.
Good, Jeff. You did the right thing.
Yeah. No, obviously I am joking. I knew about it, and but yeah, I love the Wii U one. I'm not going to pay another $60 to replay this game, especially with all the crazy stuff that are coming out. I expect this to potentially sell more than the original one, which is a very low barrier.
Yeah.
A very low one. So that doesn't mean anything at all.
It was a niche game on the Wii U. So.
Yes. So yeah, I hope this one does well.
I kind of am interested in this. I know that it kind of doesn't necessarily seem like my game because super Japanese stuff or whatever, tropes or whatever. I don't think I would like it. I'm not interested enough to like actually go spend money on it. But the songs are really, really good. And like some of the like kind of crazy Persona-esque style about it, I like. But I'm sure that I would convince myself to like play it, and then once I started playing it, I would be like the tropiness of it would probably drive me up the wall. So,
yeah. I guess for me, it all depends on how well they handle the whole idol industry. Because, I mean, everyone knows the idol industry in Japan is super slimy.
I think they do it well.
Okay, well, that is a check in that game's favor for myself. But again, I also don't see myself really picking this up.
Yeah, I don't either, especially for
Derby.
I imagine is full price, right? When they released this.
The biggest draw I would say for you is the battle system, which is right up your alley.
Yeah, like there are things like the actual gameplay seems right up my alley. The music's really good, and just kind of the style of it. There's a lot of things that like could, especially like I'm getting a little more into like anime and like Japanese things, but. I don't know. It's one of those. It's like a razor's edge. It could be really. It could turn me off.
What I like about it is a generally low stake JRPG story, which I think we need more of. Not everything needs to be the whole time. End of the world's coming. Blah 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 blah.
Wait, you mean the world's not ending in Tokyo Mirage Sessions?
It's not a big focus of the game. Let me say.
Damn. Is it even a JRPG at that point?
What is
it's actually a dating sim.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Got a date to save the world. Date to kill God. Date God.
This is revolutionary ideas we're getting here.
No,
someone just throw me money right now for that idea.
Alex is on it. Next game.
A JRPG. Like if we just make an RPG and just one of us like visits Japan for a weekend, can we call it a JRPG?
Yes.
The developer set foot in Japan once.
Yes.
The developer watches a lot of anime. He made an RPG. It's a JRPG.
Indeed.
I made that one thing, that one bush in Japan. JRPG. Next game, Journey to the Savage Planet, coming out January 28th. I kind of blanking on what this game actually is.
I don't remember this game at all.
Yeah, I didn't either. Yeah, I guess so. Did you put like everything from the Wikipedia?
No, I didn't put everything.
Okay.
But I'm blanking on it right now. I know this is a game that's been talked about a lot.
I am unfamiliar. I doubt I can find something fast enough to.
I know it premiered on the Game Awards.
Oh, is this the stick figure one?
No.
Oh, is it? It's like
some sort of alien thing going on.
No Man's Sky looking thing.
It's very No Man's Sky looking.
You mean ski? Well, shall we move on?
We shall.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't know what this game is. It looks like colorful space.
Colorful space.
Dreams.
Speaking
Valentine's
of colorful.
Day. Yep, Dreams. Darby and I already have it, so we don't have to pay any more money for it, which is nice.
Yeah, I got it for half the price or something like that because the easy access.
Easy access.
Which is nice. I'm kind of in the same place that I've been this whole time. I kind of see no way that Dreams takes off to the point that they need it to for how long it's been in development. And I don't think they've done the best job advertising this game, but I also like don't know what the best way to advertise this game is, because it's so much about what the creators do with it. But like they have not shown enough of like what change, like what's different with this actual full release that makes it different from the early access that's been out for a year. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. Are you at all interested in Dreams, Jacob?
I'm probably not going to get it like on February 14th, but I can see myself wanting to mess around with it at some point.
Yeah. If they do, they've talked about adding mouse and keyboard support, and if they do, that completely changes that game.
That's a big
completely makes that game like infinitely. I'm so much more down to play it, because I just hate creating things like doing the motion,
using the sticks and stuff.
Because like it's such a precise world builder, and to do that with the controller like moving it around is like pretty bad. It's just pretty bad, because Dreams feels like an Adobe software. Almost it almost doesn't feel like a game. It's like that robust. There's like tutorials that you do in the game that feel like I'm watching an After Effects tutorial. It's pretty wild, but
yeah, I'm really interested to see how this game sells, how much it's talked about.
I'm just worried this full release is going to echo what the early access did, where like people talked about that PT level for a week. It was like, hey, look, someone recreated PT. And then that was literally about it as far as the actual mainstream conversation. And I kind of expect this to be the same thing. I think there's going to be people playing Dreams for years and years to come. But they're probably going to be playing Dreams like long after Media Molecule was not a company anymore, or they've moved on from Dreams. I don't know.
Tearaway 2, baby!
Hope someone creates like an advanced AI in Dreams, and that's how Skynet is created.
Yeah, it all starts in Dreams. That'd be great.
Yeah, hopefully it does well. Luckily now, just because Last of Us is not far away from it, at least from the Sony ecosystem, there isn't really too much around it. So better chance of people talking about it and not being lost in the shuffle. So.
Yeah, but it has a very small window before all hell breaks loose.
Yep. 4 days to be in fact, because the Bayonetta and Vanquish 5th anniversary bundle on February 18th.
Wow,
cool.
If Dreams can't take the Bayonetta ports, then I don't think it can. I don't think it's gonna.
The whole thing that's weird about this is they're hyping up a Bayonetta 10th anniversary thing on systems where the 2 sequels can't be on, because 2 and 3 are Nintendo.
Yeah.
Nintendo, they won't be on there unless Nintendo gives the go ahead.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a PlayStation 3, I know the PlayStation 3 version of Bayonetta was not the best version of that game. So playing it on the PlayStation 4 at 60 frames per second is probably a really good deal. But I mean, other than that, you won't be able to play Bayonetta 2 or Bayonetta 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is weird.
So it's like, hey, come over to the Switch.
So Nintendo they published 2?
They published them, yes.
Okay.
They own rights to 2 and 3.
Yeah, those games would not exist without Nintendo.
Yeah.
Do they also publish Astral Chain?
Astral Chain is their IP.
It is their IP.
As far as I know, it is their IP. Okay, next game. Mega Man Zero ZX Legacy Collection, February 25th.
That's a Jeff joint.
Yeah, I played some of the games in this series when I was younger. I'd like to get this collection. It's one of those things out there. Too many games. But I will keep an eye out, because as far as I have some fond memories of these games. I want to see how they hold up and all that.
I probably should play a Mega Man game to call myself a gamer, but just...
I tried to play one of those old Mega Man games. Like, man, this is not for me.
I bet it's just always seemed like very grueling and very like.
I mean, I like Shovel Knight, so maybe that's.
Yeah. I played
that's one thing, but yeah, old Mega
I like
Man.
a decent amount of Mega Man and a bunch of different series. The X series, the regular Mega Man series, the Zero series, the Battle Network series, all that kind of stuff. So I've dabbled in Mega Man.
I'm liking Shantae. It's jolly. It's just challenging enough to not be brain dead, and I get to keep going on my little pirate adventure and have a good time.
Your little genie adventure. Next game, one I am very interested in, Iron Man VR, February 28th. This definitely has a ceiling for how well this will sell. I'm very interested to see how this game actually is. The previews were promising after the trailer was didn't look that interesting. It looked more like an on rails thing.
That trailer was straight up bad.
Yeah.
That state of play trailer was bad.
Yeah. But the previews and stuff, people actually play the games like, no, it's a lot more than that. They just, for some reason, didn't show a lot of that stuff. I think there was a later trailer that showed off a little more of the stuff that made it, the actual gameplay of it, look more appealing. But I am interested in this. Not something I'm probably going to get right away. I am going to see reviews. And it might just be later because this is so close to other things.
I'm interested too, but I also don't completely trust people because people also, I remember people talking about the Batman Arkham thing like it was this crazy experience, this unforgettable thing that you'll never, oh my God. And it's literally just like you put on the bat suit and you go a few places and then it's over. It's like a tech demo. It was like a little like, oh, we're going to do this on the side to see how VR works. And then it was like, it's really not much.
Well, I mean, this is different as this is actually a full game.
It is. I'm just saying that people treated that like it was way more than it is. I mean,
that's been a while. People have a lot more experience in VR.
They did.
So I want the people liking Batman. I want to take that to mean anything as far as them liking Iron Man.
No.
Next game, One Punch Man, a hero nobody knows, on February 28th.
Is this that game where you're like trying to buy time for One Punch Man to get to the whatever fight it is, and then you take control of One Punch Man, and then he just
I don't think you do that.
I heard people talking about something like that.
I don't think that's the thing. I think that might have been a joke or something. Because that's pretty much how the series of One Punch Man go, except for the most recent arc. But Saitama is playable, and it is a thing. He is indestructible, I believe. I don't know if he can be beaten. Like, he takes no hits done. Except for early One Punch Man spoilers. There's a dream where he's envisioning him actually having a challenge, and that dream version is playable, and he's like any other character. Like, that's neat. But this is just like any other anime arena fighter. It's pretty low budget. It's going to sell well enough for its budget and probably get a sequel.
So wait, it's an arena fighter and you can choose him? Like, how does that work as far as
I don't know how. I didn't care enough to look into how it works for regular Saitama, but they have a playable one where he acts like any other character as far as being able to be beaten.
It just needs to be like Dive Kick, where it's one hit kill.
Yeah, that's what.
All
but they are pulling out a lot of interesting characters, like some one-off stuff. Like, these are cool characters. I'm glad you're using them.
It's just really fun to me to picture these companies having to, like, they're trying to treat One Punch Man like they treat all their other shonen animes, and they're like, oh no, but it doesn't work.
Yeah.
We can't do our low budget fighting game because he just kills people in one hit.
So we got to use this one chapter version of him so he can't be hit. So Dari, speaking of stuff nobody knows about.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII Remake coming March 3rd.
Yeah, apparently no one's excited about this game except for niche corners of the internet.
It's true,
according to that Resetera guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, I think so.
Everyone instantly was like, "What are you talking about?"
I mean, Final Fantasy VII, obviously, the least popular of the Final Fantasy games it's just been very underrated and very, forgotten into time.
Well, what's kind of funny about that statement is they said 5 million, like that's a very low number.
Yeah.
I mean, there'll probably be disappointment for this thing, but just in general. Whatever. Get to the point. This game's going to be huge. It looks like it is going to be great. I have very little doubt that's at least going to be good. If not great, I expect it to be great, but you never know.
Yeah.
This will sell buttloads.
Yes.
And yeah. But the only thing that makes me fear for its sale potential is the fact that it is part 1. And that might turn some people off.
Yeah.
But it's also not being advertised as a part 1, which might screw over future parts. Because people might be understandably upset.
Yeah, I mean, that is the one, like, me and Jeff kind of talked about this off mic, but, like, the whole thing with Final Fantasy VII, I definitely stand by the fact that, like, the name is stupid, because if you haven't been following this and you're just in GameStop and you see Final Fantasy VII Remake, you'd reasonably think that you're going to get the whole game. But taking just a name outside of it or whatever, from everything that we've seen and what we've heard, like, obviously we'll see how it feels when we play it, but, like, I really just feel like the whole like, oh, they're making us pay a bunch of money for one game. Like I think that whole take is just getting really old for me, because like this look like it's just so obvious that like what they're showing us looks like a full game. It looks like a fully fleshed out. They've already said it's like 30 hours, has all this other stuff to it, like, and the sheer amount of like budget and everything that's going into this compared to like any other Square Enix game in history. I don't know. I think that whole take is going to age very poorly. I think that this year it's going to be like, oh yeah, it's going to be, this is like part one, but these are going to feel, we're going to get more than our money's worth. I think that whole take is going to kind of look silly. And maybe I'm just a blinded Final Fantasy VII fan, but I think that take is going to look very silly. I think
it's not just you. I feel like there are more people with that take, but people are just kind of, even you were a little apprehensive about it in the beginning, but once we saw stuff are good, and that seems to be the general thing. So it's people talking like that, but the general consensus I'm seeing as people are agreeing with you, it's like, no, this is going to be a full fleshed out game, and like we've been talking about that we'll be thankful that this is the route they go, even though we're going to be spending a lot more money, but this will be the experience people always dreamed of having a full Final Fantasy VII remake.
So Jacob, where are you at? Do you think this is something? I know you were interested in it when we at least watched like the E3 trailers before, but like, where is the interest level? You never played Final Fantasy VII, right?
Yeah. Well, I guess speaking as someone who knows very little about Final Fantasy VII, I think it's totally fine for them to split it up into parts, because from my understanding, like it would be literally impossible to remake Final Fantasy VII as one complete package. Well, especially
if they were putting this level of polish into it, legitimately impossible.
Yeah. So I'm totally fine with that. And I'm also fine with just like, a 25-hour JRPG experience.
Yeah.
That's totally fine. Yeah. That sounds great, actually.
I really hope they figure out a way that's like the materia and stuff you get, they can make it carry over to the next parts.
Yeah.
Which scares me, because this is going to be PS4, and obviously the next one's going to be on PS5 and other consoles.
When sadly not enough JRPGs and just Square Enix games in general choose the quality over quantity. Usually they go for quality over quality all the time. And yeah, like you're saying, this looks like everything we see just looks so tight and
but yeah, I'm really excited for this. I think I'll probably get this as on release day.
Hell yeah. Nice.
Then we'll have a good little discussion with the team.
All three of us, yeah.
As someone whose Final Fantasy VII is his favorite game, as someone who has dabbled in Final Fantasy VII, knows a lot about it, played the prequel game of Final Fantasy VII, and then played the part that is apparently going to go up to, and someone who has like absolutely no experience.
Yeah,
so we got the full spectrum.
Jeff said the other day, it's like, Final Fantasy VII Remake is kind of the sequel to the game I played on the PSP. I'm like, that's so weird, Jeff.
Part 2. The cool thing about this is that I can play this remake, and then if I like it, then I can go back and I can play through the old game and be excited for the later remake parts.
That's what I think. This game is like, like you said, you can kind of see what, like, okay, that's cool. Let me see where the story is going, and we see that. And I think these are like so different that I really do think you're gonna like you could play all the way through Remake and all of its parts, and then play the original Final Fantasy VII, and you're gonna enjoy both in different ways. Like it's not gonna be something like, oh, I don't need to play the old one because I played this. Like it's gonna be very different experience. But
okay. Well, moving on. Ori and the Will of the Wisps, March 11th. Let's go, baby. I wish this wasn't pushed back. But
what two games back to back.
Yeah, this
Darby's gonna be a happy boy in March.
God, I hope I'm able to play this damn game, or I hope I'm able to play Ori anytime close to when it comes out. It's gonna be a struggle. It's crazy. I mean, Ori was probably my second favorite game of 2015, only behind The Witcher, which is one of my favorite games of all time. So that's
high bar.
Yeah, it's a very high bar. This is one of those, like, I don't even really like Final Fantasy VII. I'm looking at every single trailer over and over again, analyzing everything. Ori, I'm like, just give me the game. Like, I know this game's going to be stunning and beautiful. I just want to play it. I mean, the music, you definitely, I want you to play this game. I mean, because it's an awesome, like, kind of Metroidvania type game like that. Just the gameplay is amazing, but also the soundtrack is just stunning. It's like an old Disney movie, but like mixed with, like, I don't know. It reminds me, it has this like sweeping orchestral stuff that goes on. It like it has a very, very like unique soundtrack vibe.
Yeah.
Like it sounds like a video game, but it also sounds like freaking Pocahontas or something. It's like crazy. It's awesome. And Jeff played it more recently than I did. So where's your hype level, Jeff?
Pretty high, Darby. I mean, I really wanted to come out with that previous release date. That would have been a good amount of time to fit for. I think both of us to finish before Final Fantasy VII. Yeah. It's like 3 weeks or whatever. We both could have easily finished it.
Yeah, I think their first Ori was probably something like
it's like 11 hours. I think for me.
I think it was like 13 hours for me or something.
I don't expect this to be much longer, if any longer. So.
Yeah.
So yeah. Next game, Neo 2, March 13th. This is one of those games like this is coming out.
I'm interested in this game.
I know there's hype for it, but I feel like there hasn't been much marketing.
Yeah, I haven't seen too much either. But I am interested. But the problem with Neo 2 is that I've owned Neo 1 for so long, and I can't justify buying Neo 2 before I play and complete Neo 1.
But Neo 1 did really well. I expect this game to also do well. And looking at the games around, it's for. I mean, they're going to be obviously crossovers, but it's not like the exact same fan bases.
I mean, you want my hot take that I hope's not true?
You think it's going to bomb?
Yeah, I do. I think it's going to sell significantly less than the first one. I think the whole thing in video games that the sequel always does better is dying. I think
unless you're Nintendo.
I mean, it does. It's not that it doesn't happen all the time, but it used to be a guarantee. It used to be the sequel will always do better than the first, and there are no exceptions. I mean, there are very few exceptions. Nowadays, I think there's just too many video games out. And if you don't market your game well or something, I mean, even Mario Maker 2, I mean, it might have sold more, but like that's a bad example. But there's a lot less hype about it. This happens a lot of times, and I think that they are marketing Neo completely wrong. I think that there's not really the hook really so far of like, this is what's new about Neo right now. At least they haven't gotten me, someone who's very tangentially like related to this. I don't really know the differences between them.
There are very obvious differences that are in the trailers, but the problem is they're not really doing good at putting those trailers out there.
Well, yeah, what I'm saying is like they need people like me who's not even really paying attention. There needed to be like everyone's like, holy shit, you got to look at this. Like it has this cool mechanic, it has this, but it has not pierced through that. I'm sure Neo fans are really happy about that, but I think there's also a lot of people in the situation you just said that they bought Neo 1, didn't finish it, so they're like, well, if I can't really buy this, I think this game's gonna absolutely bomb.
Yeah,
this would be my prediction.
Conversely, I could see it being like a sleeper hit. Like it just kind of gets word of mouth and builds.
A game that's not gonna bomb. Animal Crossing New Horizons out March 20th. This game is going to sell gangbusters.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's no doubt in my mind this is the easiest hit of this, one of the easiest hits of this list.
Animal Crossing is a funny series with how, I guess, popular it is with a lot of people, but it seems like hardcore game critics just hate Animal Crossing. They just can't stand it.
I feel like there also are a lot of them that do love it. There is, it's not a thing of all the hardcore games.
Well, right. I mean, I'm not saying like, but like,
I'd
say like 60-40.
Yeah,
like more than a lot of other franchises.
Well, Dari and I was talking about this the other day, just talking about Nintendo's lineup next year, which not much right now, but they always wait till the year of pretty much once the year starts here. But we were talking about Animal Crossing and how this game is going to sell. Well, something that people might forget, the last mainline Animal Crossing New Leaf came out in 2012. People are starving for Animal Crossing.
That's like actually insane for how popular and how much that series sells. For there to not have been one until 2019 is
2020, Darby.
2020.
Hey man, quality over quantity.
I mean, I think there was a canceled game in there for sure.
No, I mean, we talked about it. I think what happened is the Animal Crossing team made Splatoon.
Yeah.
And then maybe at some point more in the recent years, after somewhere between Splatoon 2 and Splatoon 1 and 2, split teams off kind of to work on Splatoon 2 and Animal Crossing.
No.
So it took a lot. So it's taking a lot longer. But the good news is this seems to be making Animal Crossing fans happy, at least what they've been seeing. The whole island setting's at least different, so there's a hook right there. There looks to be more multiplayer stuff that can happen with it, and Animal Crossing fans will seem like they'll be happy. I know me and Darby are not in, or I'm guessing you're not in either, Jacob, or is it like
I could see myself being into Animal Crossing, but I don't want to
might be like
I don't pay $60
You're thinking it might be a fun
find out
you
the
and-
answer to that question.
feel like it might be a fun you and Celeste game?
Yeah, I mean, if I could buy it for like $20, but
That's not happening.
you know, it's not gonna
It's a
happen.
Nintendo game.
Literally
I have to
years.
get a bootleg copy.
Yeah.
Yeah, sadly, there's no chance of me and Jeff getting it to just like pass it on over to you.
Yeah, if I could try before I buy, I'd be interested in trying it out.
I can see a world. I'm not saying it's. I think it's unlikely, but I can see a world where they put out a little demo with the short part of the beginning that can carry over data. I can see it.
This is a weird thing to say. I wish that I was the type of person that could play Stardew Valley or Animal Crossing or something and just like, yeah, I'm gonna get real, like, just chill and just zen and just like chill out and play these games or whatever. It's like that sounds like a good person to be. I'm just.
It's not that, yeah.
I get very bored.
Right.
I feel like a 12-year-old saying that, but it's like I'm just bored. I don't know what to tell you. I'm just bored playing it.
Animal Crossing just needs more explosions.
I know. That's what. It's hard to say that you don't like those games because you're bored without I feel like I'm a Michael Bay Transformers fan. Like, I didn't have enough action for me. Like, that's what I feel like when I say that.
Well, I got good news for you because on that day, Doom Eternal's coming out.
Hell yeah, let's go.
The exact opposite of Animal Crossing.
Need a crossover.
The antithesis of Animal Crossing.
So this is probably going to be one of the best reviewing games of the year. It's probably going to sell well. We talk about how Bethesda games sales. Games kind of fail at this point for the most part, unfortunately. I think this is going to be the exception.
Yeah, it seems they're doing everything in their power to not have this be another Bethesda game that flops.
Yeah, and it's just the whole thing of it's not other than Fallout 76. A lot of their games recently, have been good, but they just don't do well sales wise for a reason or another. Doom is one that's always seems to be in the public mind nowadays. After Doom 2016, all that, and there's a lot of hype around this game.
Yeah,
So
and Doom 2016, of all of their we're bringing Wolfenstein back, we're bringing Prey back, we're bringing Doom back. That's the one that unequivocally hit hard and was
And I think they've been nailing the marketing stuff.
Yeah, and I mean I'm gonna play this game eventually because I have the original. I have Doom 2016 downloaded. I will play that game eventually, and I will eventually move on to this. It might not be until 2021, but I will do that.
Honestly, unless you get a copy or something, I'm probably not gonna play it until it maybe eventually comes to Game Pass.
Yeah, that's about where I'm at too. I could see this game selling less than 2016 Doom just because of 2016 Doom was a moment and everything, and Doom Eternal would have sold more if it came out in its original date.
Yeah.
But
sure.
I still do think that Eternal will sell more. I'm just saying I could see a world where we know that this one looks like it adding a lot of stuff, but I could see the whole freshness of holy shit, Doom's back. That's kind of gone now.
Well, I'll kind of twist what you're saying there for a minute of a potential thing. It might sell less than Doom, but I think it's going to make more money. Because Doom was a game, if I'm correct, one of those games that went on sale pretty quickly, and a bunch of people got it that way, and through Game Pass and all of that, made people Doom fans more likely to get Doom day one. So it might be a thing of maybe in the long run, Doom 2016 sells more, but initial sales will greatly surpass Doom 2016.
I don't remember the Doom being on sale. So I believe.
Doom's been consistently on sale, obviously, for a long time. You see it in front of hey, this game's less than $20 and all that, and it's on Game Pass and all that. So a lot of people have got their hands on it.
I feel like I've seen that recently because it's 3 years old.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Doom Eternal
just
kind of stuff like
thing.
that, and people Doom's a short enough thing where I want more Doom, and this is coming out. So people getting a day one. So even if it doesn't sell the exact numbers as Doom, it might make more money because it's more $60 sales.
Has Doom been free on Games for Gold or PlayStation Plus?
It might have been. I'm not 100% sure.
Probably.
You can get it. I had already bought it on PS4, and then over Black Friday they were selling it for literally $5 on PC, and I would rather play it on PC. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll buy it again. It's $5. So I mean, you can get it for dirt cheap, and I'm sure they're doing that to get people like me to play it. So then I'll buy Doom Eternal. You know?
Yeah, I just could really see if it hasn't already been like one of those free games. I could see it being free in like February or March.
Plus, you get Doom 64 when you buy it,
which is cool. It's just very cool.
Yeah. Next game, Bleeding Edge, March 24th. Darby and I are going to play this game because it's going to be on Game Pass, baby.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty. And this is the Ninja Theory one.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Yeah. Just making sure. Bleeding Edge is a very generic name, but this is the kind of like Overwatch style. It's like a competitive multiplayer like hero thing, but it's not a shooter. It's like a third person, like your action,
melee
more action type, melee combat. But it seems like it's borrowing obviously a lot from Overwatch and other hero shooters, where like you have points that you need to get. There's different, like there's tanks and DPS and healers. Like you need a certain team comp to run different things. And obviously all that speaks to me. I love Overwatch, and I love the just kind of like team dynamics and strategy with that, and having that applied to a very different style of game sounds really cool to me, because I just love the vibe of Overwatch and the fast games and all that and the strategy, but like it's cool to throw that onto this. Obviously Ninja Theory is not at all known for this type of game, at all. So there's a lot of worry there, and I just worry that this game's not going to like catch the following just because there's not a lot of people talking about this, but I am interested. I am definitely interested. And Game Pass, so I'll just jump right in. I think Jeff is probably the similar place.
Yeah, definitely give it a try.
Yeah, I guess I'm not really interested in this, and I guess my only worry about it performance-wise is, how much room do we have for another one of these type of games?
That's what, that's why like every time there's another hero or a hero shooter, I'm just not interested at all. It's like I have Overwatch. The thing for me at least that's like different about this, I haven't seen one of these that's like specifically it looks like this could be an esport, but it's like it's more of like you're running around, jumping around, doing action stuff. It's definitely control wise, it's a lot different.
Well, that's gonna be a weird thing that gauge, because it's a hero shooter ever. It looks to be on the lower budget than its contemporaries, and the fact that it's going to be on Game Pass, so it's hard to judge like how it's selling and if it's good enough for Microsoft and Ninja Theory and all that.
And I mean, that is the other problem too, is that like Blizzard struggles to keep up with updating Overwatch, and Blizzard is like one of the biggest video game companies in the world. Ninja Theory is pretty small, and probably this arm of Ninja Theory is even smaller.
Yeah.
Are they going to be able to keep this game alive? Because like even if it does like get a bunch of attention at first, I can see this game like dropping off really quickly because there's not enough being added to it. Even Apex wasn't able to keep up with like Fortnite enough to where Apex is still big, but nowhere near as big as it was, because just no one can keep up with the content update of like Epic, of these bigger companies. And this is a very small company trying to enter this space, which they might just not have the bandwidth for that.
It could be like a For Honor kind of case where everyone's like really in on that game for like a month, and then like 90% of people drop off, and that 10% just gets really, really good at the game.
Totally. I think that's the most likely scenario. I just hope that we at least get a good game out of it, so that I have a good game to play even if it's failing.
Mm-hmm. Next game, March 27th, One Piece Power Warriors 4, baby. Now, I mentioned this game. Obviously, I'm a huge One Piece fan. I enjoy some Muso games. The One Piece ones are among the best, in my opinion. Seems to be adding a bunch of characters and stuff, new ones to it, and catching up to the story and all that. I think you're able to play through the whole One Piece story up to this point, pretty much.
That's a lot of story.
That is a lot of story. So I expect it to sell as well as these games do. Next game, Persona 5 Royal, March 31st. This is the North American release date. I had no idea I was going to sell just because there's so many games going out of time, and it is a re-release. Yeah. I mean, it is a updated port thing. Well, not a port, you know what I'm saying, the updated version.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously, if this came out at a different time, then I might have might have been immediately jumping on it and like at least starting a new playthrough to see the things. Now it's like, I'll do this eventually, but March, absolutely not. And then we'll have Cyberpunk very shortly after. So, but I am interested too. The word that I've seen like from, and this is just very tangential because it's only in Japan, but people have said that it's slightly underwhelming, the content. It's not as transformative as like Golden was.
Yeah.
It needs more Marie.
Yeah. I heard people saying that like all the meat, the most of the added stuff was actually at the very end of the game. And I was like, well, why, if it's all going to be put at the very end of the game, why do we have to buy the whole game again for full price? And
play through largely the same game.
Because you get to play as that new character the whole game.
So yeah, for me, this is definitely not going to buy it for $60.
Yeah,
waiting to hear what people.
It does kind of feel like a little slimy in the way that like a lot of other developers probably would have just offered this as a DLC.
Yeah.
But instead, you're offering it as a full priced game. It seems a little. I mean, they're not the first ones to do that, but
I might be. Well, no. I mean, they already got a whole new character. I don't know. Potentially, like that Kingdom Hearts thing, for example, can be more substantial, and that's just a $30 just kind of DLC thing. Like, hey, throw that in there.
Yeah, to me, it just is like an old holdover from like the PS2 era, whereas like we wanted to do like an expansion, and we're gonna have to re-release the game, and just Atlas is just not up to how modern things like that work now.
Yeah, I'm probably getting into this at some point because I'm the only one here who hasn't completed Persona 5, and at this point, I just feel like starting over. So this would be the way to do it. I'm not getting it right away because there's too much stuff. I'm probably not going to be playing in 2020 because there's just so many freaking things. But this will be the version I get, and maybe if I'm lucky, they'll release the PS5 version of the game by the time I want it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, if you have not played Persona 5, then like absolutely just jump on this version.
Yeah.
But if you have played that game already, I would wait. I'd really recommend waiting and hearing what people are saying about how the DLC, how this new content is.
Yeah. Like I just really, it does feel like there should have been an option for like people who, if you already have Persona 5, you pay $30 or something and you get all the bonus content instead of like, I mean, is this going to be a $60 release?
Oh yeah. And the shittiest thing too is that none of the costumes and extra personas you bought for vanilla Persona 5 carry over.
Oh, yikes.
You had to buy it again.
Yikes.
Big yikes. Yeah.
So Darius, the problem is with your thing is
this is just
there definitely is money because even people who don't have Persona 5, like the way we do, Persona 5 is constantly on sale nowadays for $10.
Yeah.
So they can get that, do that, hypothetical $30 expansion thing and still pay less than. Is probably a reason why they wouldn't do that. And I'm not saying it's not scummy, but you know what I'm saying?
No, everyone does like DLC things now.
No,
Atlas is backwards for releasing.
I know. I'm just saying as far as what you were saying of just do the $30 expansion thing and then let people who don't have the game buy the full game.
No, to get the new stuff, you have to buy Persona 5 Royal at $60.
I know that was like that. Oh, whatever. Let's move on.
Sorry, I wasn't understanding what you were saying.
Yeah, I don't think I'm following either.
Okay.
I would say it should just be sold as a DLC, as any normal DLC is sold. Like you pay the extra $30 or whatever, and you get all the bonus content in this one, rather than having we're gonna re-release the game for full
I think I
price.
misunderstood you. If you meant do that for people who have the game, and they let people who don't have it buy the full.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Because there's a workaround on that as far as the full price thing.
Okay, no, I just mean don't do that at all. Don't do the full price thing at all.
Moving
just
on.
make this a DLC.
Half-Life Alyx, March 2020. It's like the only game on this list for the first little bit until we get the general 2020 stuff that doesn't have an exact date. This is the biggest VR game of the year, bar none.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
I have absolutely no idea how this thing is going to sell.
I am fascinated. I am absolutely
really
fascinated.
That's a good word to describe the feeling around Half-Life.
This is the most interesting game just from a video game enthusiast podcast thing, is seeing how this game will do, how it sells, how it moves VR consoles, because it might be a thing of if they release numbers, it may not sound that impressive, but I've been hearing stuff since this game was announced, understandably, that the VR headsets are sold out everywhere, or at least the cheaper ones.
Yeah.
When like the return of Half-Life is arguably one of the biggest chips that any developer had to play. Just in the world of video games, that was one of the biggest, like, you know, we're cashing in. That was one of the biggest things to cash in, and they're using it on a VR thing, on a system that not many people have. So it fascinates me because does this actually push way more VR units than any other game has, and it actually is kind of substantial? It's like, holy shit, this is happening. Does this game just kind of, whether it's good or not, it kind of fades into obscurity because people
I think this will sell more VR headsets than any other single VR game. I don't think that's a question, but that doesn't mean it can't do like the second thing you said and just fade away into obscurity and not really move the needle that much. But I'm very interested to see, because based off the trailer, as someone who's played a good bit of VR stuff, like the stuff they were doing, just the small stuff they're doing there is crazy. Especially, I just the other day played some more Blood and Truth, which are kind of similar in the way of you're doing the first person thing, they're action games and all that kind of stuff. But the technology in that for Half-Life Alyx seems far more substantial than Blood and Truth, which makes sense because the headsets will become powerful, but that also means they're putting a much bigger budget in that game compared to like any other VR game.
Yeah, I'm really fascinated to see what people say about this game and what it's like. Like, I'm never gonna play this game because I'm not really into VR and I don't have the money to drop on a VR headset for this. Absolutely not. But I am.
Are you Did you play like the old Half-Lives?
I actually picked up the old Half-Lives for like $2 on Steam on sale. So I will probably just play those.
Yeah,
just to know.
Yeah, I like watched a friend play some of it, but I don't remember hardly. I remember head crabs.
Yeah, I definitely feel like Half-Life is like one of those like series that you need to play just as like a cultural understanding sort of thing.
I wonder like how much would playing Half-Life now feel like watching an old movie where it's like, I don't enjoy this, but I respect it because it brought about like it's the reason why.
So if you feel that way, you're a fake gamer.
I mean, I'll fully admit, watching a lot of those old movies that are very revolutionary are pretty freaking boring. And like sometimes playing old games can be pretty freaking boring at times, you know.
Well, sometimes you do go back and you do watch an old movie and you're like, wow, this actually holds up, or I'm into this in a weird way. Yeah. Like I watched Gone with the Wind, and I did not think I'd be into that movie, but Gone with the Wind is pretty good. I liked it. Yeah. Same like Citizen Kane.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's always like that, but yeah, sometimes.
So I'm hoping for me, Half-Life is like I actually enjoy playing it.
Right.
It's not like,
because I mean, even like I love BioShock, but even like the original BioShock is a little rough to go back to. Gameplay wise, it's a little rough. Like, I mean, it's one of those like if you just took everything about BioShock but just made modern controls, it wouldn't hurt the game. It would make it better. Like, you know, there's just certain things like that. I wonder if you would go back to Half-Life and be like, oof, like try to move around. You'd be like, this is yikes. No.
Next game, Resident Evil 3.
Hell yeah.
April 3rd. Woo! This game is like probably one of the most recent games announced on this list.
And you're playing it. You're going to be playing that game in April, Jacob. Like only a little over a year after RE2.
That's pretty wild and exciting. I'm definitely all on board for Resident Evil 3. I'll definitely play through the old Resident Evil 3 one more time right before this comes out. I'm all in for this. This is day one for sure. It's a lock.
There's another game I'm going to play at some point. It just depends on when do I get to play RE2. Like when can I fit that in?
You can always borrow my copy.
I appreciate it.
I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna S rank it. I'm gonna do all the fun stuff.
All the fun stuff. I think I read an interview somewhere recently that this is gonna have more like differences between the original and this one than RE2 did.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because Resident Evil 3, I said before, it's a lot more action oriented. Just the environments they'd have to recreate would be a lot more ambitious. Mm-hmm. So I definitely can see some changes, and there's room for like good improvements too. Like there's some things you could change for the better for Resident Evil 3. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It's going to sell a lot.
Oh yeah, for sure.
There's a lot of these interesting ones. This kind of feels like Doom Eternal and some of the other ones where like I legitimately could see arguments for it selling more or less than RE2.
Yep.
Like I think both are valid. Like it's not like what, like you think it's gonna sell less? Like no, I could see it. I mean RE2 was a big moment.
But what if I sell it was going to sell double?
Yeah, probably not that.
Not double, but I don't know. I mean, have you seen Carlos's hair?
That's true. That how many copies did Carlos's hair sell?
12,000.
But why isn't her tube top the default one?
Oh God,
I can't buy this game.
Y'all got to calm down for some like y'all horny on some polygonal models.
Go watch Cats.
It's not okay.
I think that was my favorite quote Jacob's ever said on this podcast.
Okay, next game, April 16th. Another big one. Cyberpunk 2077.
Damn right. Holy shit.
It's gonna...
How is this game coming out and it's not like my most anticipated game?
It's gonna sell buttloads.
Oh, yeah.
I'm curious. This is one I could see not reviewing as well as some would think just because it's doing so many ambitious things. I can see...
It's not going to click for everyone.
That, and I can see it worry about how it runs.
That too.
That's my big concern.
Yeah.
Though then again, a lot of people love Jedi Fallen Order, so you never know.
And I'm in the dilemma, like, do I get this for my laptop and try to see if it can run it, or do I just like settle for the lesser graphics and buy my PS4 where it'll probably be stable but look worse? Like I don't know.
See, I'm in that dilemma too, and I've kind of made up my mind that I'm going to wait on Cyberpunk because I really don't want to play that game on my base PS4.
Yeah.
So I'm going to wait, see if it runs on the PlayStation 5, which it probably would run.
I feel like they've confirmed it's going to be on the PS.
Yeah,
it's.
I mean that's no question.
Yeah. So.
I mean, I was already Jedi Fallen Order. That was my point of playing this game, and it's like, yeah, I'm ready for the next gen.
Yeah, I mean, Control,
I'm ready to move on.
Like,
I'm ready to move
Control
on.
is just like, dear God, like my PlayStation 4 is screaming.
Yeah, and Cyberpunk is like so far above what Jedi Fallen Order was doing, and it's like Unity and like not that detailed graphics and environments, and then Cyberpunk's like freaking barrel in here.
I'm just gonna wait for the Switch version.
There you go.
Where my Switch,
there you go.
The moment I start the game up, just catches on fire.
I mean, so I'm gonna play this day one. I'm gonna have to deal with either base PS4 or just try to see. I'll look at the specs and see how my laptop how this would actually work, and I want a PC at some point, but that's a lot of money. But the actual game, this is a fever pitch excitement for me because like Witcher 3, like storytelling wise, Witcher 3 is one of my favorite games of all time, and then this setting, just it's their own setting to play with. They made all of this. They're not borrowing anyone else's world, and it just has so many like inspirations from things I love. Like it has Blade Runner in there, but then it's also like a lot kind of like brighter. It's like it has like
the
more
SoCal,
of a it's like Blade Runner, but like SoCal punk rock. It's like so many different cool things being thrown in there, and it's like unabashedly just kind of like butt rock cool, but then it also it's CD Projekt Red. Like, there's going to be like thought-provoking things in there as well. And then for a studio who hasn't done a first-person shooter type thing, the gameplay looks pretty solid.
Yeah.
And then obviously just the character customization, everything. Like I can't wait. Are we all pretty much same level? Like, you might not be getting it right away.
I'm gonna be excited. I'm gonna be staying away from spoilers because people are going to be talking about that game. It's going to be rough, but I'm also leaving out of town like a week after that game comes out for like a month. So I'm not going to play Cyberpunk for like a weekend and then peace. Peace for a month. So I'm usually pretty good. Like once I can get past like that FOMO kind of feeling, it's like I can wait.
Yeah.
Well, next game, Predator Hunting Grounds, April 24th. Don't worry, right after this, I'm going to start skipping games. Predator. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if I get on sale, sure, but I'm not gonna.
That's like Game Pass or something like that, or PSN.
Definitely not gonna be Game Pass.
Is it only on PlayStation? Oh yeah.
Well, it is gonna be on PC, but not Xbox.
Sorry, PlayStation Plus. If it's that eventually. I'm sure this is going to be a fun game. Friday the 13th is a fun game. The big question here is, can it actually run? Because Friday the 13th was like a fun game, but you legitimately half the time you tried to log into a game, it just wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Like the game was absolutely.
I know this is a very low bar. I think it's going to do better than, or as far as running and stuff, better than Friday the 13th, just because it does have that official backing from the actual people behind Predator and Sony and all that. Yeah. I think that's gonna. The fact that that's there is going to be noticeable between the two games.
I think it's going to be a fun game, but it's not going to be a game that, like, when does it come out? April. We're not going to be talking about this game like a month later.
Yeah. Okay, guys. I'm going to start naming games and you have something to say. Speak up. Trials of Mana, Gears Tactics, Minecraft Dungeons, Fast and Furious Crossroads. God. That game is going to be.
All right. What's the score? 4. 5.5.
Okay, I want to say 4.
So we're talking about
like
Metacritic. I guess, yeah.
Metacritic. I thought you were talking about like critics. Or
I was thinking critics, but I didn't think about having. All right, what's the IGN score going to be? Let's just pick one. I think 5.5.
I think 5.5 for IGN.
I'm going to be a little optimistic. 6.0.
All right.
Okay.
What is Tim Geddes going to say about this game?
Like I said, there were a lot of problems with it, but I had a fun time. Next game, Marvel's Avengers, May 15th.
A little sneak peek, especially if Jacob's going to leave. I'll have this conversation now. We had our the most anticipated games that we're going to have at the end. This was the one game that I was going to have subcategory. What are the games that you have no excitement for? That's
a long list for me. There are a lot of games.
No, sorry. I meant to say surprising games that you would think I would be excited for, like that I should be excited for, that I have none, and that's this game.
Yeah, I want to be more excited for this game, but considering everything else and what we've seen for this game,
it's a combination of the confused messaging on what the game actually is that just is giving me weird Anthem vibes, and then number 2, the gameplay just looks boring. It just looks like uninventive, punch. It looks like a button masher in the worst possible way.
Yeah.
I mean, do y'all feel a similar way?
Yeah.
Gameplay did absolutely nothing.
And just because of the way these games go, the thing that what has me the most excited is the story. It is a cool premise and all that, and I'm happy Miss Marvel is the star of it. But just with these kind of games, it doesn't guarantee a good story. So even that, it's I would need to see if that's even any good, and how much is the whole multiplayer aspect intrusive into that story.
This thing is it screams it's going to be a disjointed story that will start. It'll have a little cutscene to start it, but then all these multiplayer mission or whatever, and then it's just going to kind of end. And then
again, I hated that this is going to be pretty much the introduction of Miss Marvel into the mainstream, and it's potentially attached to this. Okay, so I figure what we can do here is why I highlighted here, Darby. Since Jacob has about 10 minutes left, he's saying you have to go.
Oh no, I'm leaving around 11:30.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then we can go a little more. I was going to have you go ahead and just list your 10 games.
Right.
Okay.
We can probably move through a lot of them fast.
Yeah. A lot of the big ones, I think, were kind of front heavy. Will be a lot more. Okay.
Because the first part of 2020 is the
pretty
best
bad.
time for video games of all time.
I guess a last note on Marvel's Avengers. Man, it's just so bizarre that game had such a bumbled, first showing, and then they haven't, at least as far as I'm aware, they haven't really done anything to really rectify that weird first impression.
They haven't done anything to completely rectify it because their messaging is still weird as hell, and I still completely get what they're doing, all they're doing with this game. But they have shown off more, and it makes more sense. It just ends up being a part of it. It's still, the messaging is still weird, and then it's just that mixed with I don't like a lot of what they're actually showing and what this game actually is.
Yeah, if this was something else, I'm video games, it happens, right?
Yeah.
But this is a Marvel game. I feel like the suits at Disney should be we can't allow this weird messaging to happen.
Yeah.
You think.
And just compare that to how freaking easy it was to sell Spider-Man. It was just as soon as you saw Spider-Man, it's hell yeah, we're playing the Spider-Man the story Spider-Man game. Everyone knew what that game was, and it's just how it's hard to completely understand what went wrong. But yet no one, even people whose job it is to understand video games, no one really has a clear indicator of what's going on. And a surprising amount of people, when they talk about 2020 games, myself included, forget about this game, which is crazy. This is like an officially licensed Avengers game made by Crystal Dynamics, a very late respected studio. And I completely forget this game exists.
Yeah. I think what hurts as far as like me potentially trying to get myself hyped for it is just all the games around it before and after, and we'll get to the big one that's after. It's like, I'm going to have no time for this game.
Yeah. Let's get to that big one.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say, shout out to Maneater.
Yeah. I thought that was the big one.
yeah, obviously. But I'm very excited for that. That's going to be a very fun like stream game. It's just, I think, dumb fun game in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, the biggie. Last of Us Part 2, May 29th. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Yes, obviously. The Last of Us was something I said over and over again after The Last of Us, and I still kind of stand by it. I said The Last of Us does not need a sequel. I mean, I think the end of The Last of Us is my favorite ending for a video game of all time. I mean, I adore that ending with all of my heart. And I still, on its surface, I still think that doesn't need a sequel. But
doesn't mean this is gonna be bad.
but I trust Naughty Dog to like. We're doing Last of Us Part 2 because we have like I trust that they have a vision of what this is gonna be to a point where it needs to be told. I don't think this is strong. I think like a gun to my head. I absolutely think this game is going to be phenomenal. It's going to be just as good, if not better, than the original. It's going to live up to all of our expectations. I think all that's going to happen. I do think there's a chance that we end this game, and I'm thinking like that didn't need to happen. Like we should have just left it, because unfortunately, Last of Us Part 2, what it has riding against this is this didn't have to happen. The story ended in a spot that I thought was perfect. So like I'm always going to be like, you have a high bar to cross, but I think they can do it.
Yeah.
I'm in a similar situation where I'm sure this game is going to sell well. I'm sure people are going to love it. I'm sure critics, I'm sure it's going to be hailed as like one of the best games of this generation. No doubt about that. I'm just personally not super interested in this story. Like I like the way that Last of Us really ended, and that was close the book. I mean, I'm a guy who finished the first Hunger Games book and I was like, yeah, I like how that ended, and I never read the other books.
That's funny. That's really funny.
I'm just like that type of person where if I don't feel like I need to read, I don't care. If I feel like the first entry ended on a good note, I'm like, I don't need the sequel.
I can't do that. I wish I could, but I can't do that.
So I'm not hating on the game. I'm not saying like, oh, this game's gonna be bad or Naughty Dog sucks or anything like that. It's just not. I'm just not.
So
feeling,
you're not
just
gonna
not
play
feeling
it?
Probably not. I mean, maybe I'll pick it up later, but I don't.
Wow.
For a game, I'm not going to pay $60 for a game that for a story heavy game. I'm just not super interested in the story that it would tell.
It's crazy.
Well, I'm going to not talk about the story for a second. I'm kind of excited for this because I feel like just based off the little we see, I know everyone talks about the story and everything for Last of Us, but I still think the gameplay is really, really solid and good. I feel like based on what we've seen, there is an evolution to the gameplay. And it's just doing a lot of things it did in the original, but better. Just looking at it, we'll have to see how well it is in the actual game and if that holds up throughout the game. But that's something also that gets me excited, that even if I do get this kind of the feeling that maybe this didn't need to happen, that the gameplay part of it will be stronger.
Yeah, that was another. I mean, good point on the gameplay. With the Last of Us 1, I played the game on normal the first time through, and then I played it again on like the hardest difficulty, and that actually kind of ruined my perception of that game's gameplay, because that game will spawn all the resources you need to get through a situation. Which, realizing that you always have the tools on hand. Like it's not like in a survival horror game where you shot all the ammo because you made poor decisions and now you need to reload a save or rethink or something like that. Knowing that shooting a clicker will drop like a 12-pack of bullets will get you through the level. Knowing that happens kind of sucked all the tension out of the gameplay for me.
Yeah, you're like seeing through the glass,
seeing the threads and like the magic kind of behind the curtain. So I mean, I hope the gameplay for this kind of rectifies that problem.
Yeah,
but that did really kind of like take the wind out of my sails a little bit for the first one.
Yeah, I could see that. I definitely don't like poke enough at the game to like get to that kind of thing. But that doesn't mean that, you know, your game should be good enough. It should be tight enough to where like for people who do poke and prod at or like pay attention to that stuff. To
be honest, is the thing. I'm just not good at the shooters and those kind of things. So that kind of stuff, I just wouldn't notice.
I wouldn't either.
I need all the tools I need to do anything decent. I'm in
the same place as Jeff, but I definitely still do think that that's a problem, you know, for other things. Yeah, but always like, I mean, obviously we got like a new Uncharted this gen, but The Last of Us has always been the more interesting gameplay between those two series, between like The Last of Us and Uncharted. So I'm excited to see Naughty Dog, like, you know, with their kind of a little bit more expressive as far as gameplay franchise, like in this gen, like going forward. I feel like we didn't really get to see them flex their muscles all that much in Uncharted, but gameplay has definitely never been Naughty Dog's with these two series like complete strong suit. They are like masterclass storytellers, and I think they have fun gameplay.
Yeah, and the gameplay doesn't need to be masterclass either, for sure. Right. Like you can, I think they can get by telling like a great story and having, you know, sufficient gameplay. Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. I'm really excited to hear people talk about Part 2.
It's gonna be interesting. For sure. I could see this being another, like, I don't think it'll be as divisive, but I think this story is gonna go places, and I think it's going to have a very dark tone. I think that you are not gonna like Ellie the whole time. I think there's going to be a lot of like tough things about this, and I could see a lot of people not liking this. Like we talked, like Greg Miller didn't like the Red Dead Redemption because like Arthur Morgan was doing bad things. I think stuff like that's going to happen. You're going to have a lot of people be like, I'm shocked, but I didn't like this game. And other people are going to say this is my favorite game of all time. I think there is going to be decently divisive.
Yeah, I'm curious too. You know, I'm all for games like portraying characters that aren't, you know, wholesome characters for sure. They just have to do that tastefully. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I kind of, Naughty Dog is a pretty good storyteller, but I just hope that they do those dark themes and those dark actions in a tasteful way.
Because you can just have things that almost kind of feel like the Joker, the movie. Yeah. Where it's like, this is just anger that leads to nothing. It's just anger for anger's sake, which I'm not saying that's not like, there's no artistic merit to that, but especially as a sequel to such a like well-told story, if this just feels like it's just revenge the game, it's like, I get it, but you know,
it's just that there's no depth to it for sure.
So yeah, fascinating.
Yeah, really exciting for May 29th to hear.
That's gonna be one of those games that I beat and then immediately go read all the discourse. Like, I gotta know what people are saying about this.
Gotta get the tea.
All right, sorry, Jeff. We had to talk about tea for a while.
Yeah. Okay, next game, 12 minutes. And at this point, everything is pretty much just a general 2020 for the most part.
So that trailer, I think, is one of the best trailers of this year. Like, as far as just selling the concept of your game, in a very succinct manner, and it's Annapurna. So
it's so tense. The trailer,
God,
incredibly tense.
So good. Obviously, we haven't seen much, but from that trailer,
That's a game that since we saw the premise of it, and that's interesting enough. I don't think we need to see anything else. I know they'll probably give us one other trailer with the release date or something. But I imagine it'll probably, and kind of hoping that it just uses a good bit of footage from the first trailer, if not just a straight up release date.
Jeff, we've been talking about video game marketing and how a lot of video game companies just seem to not know how to sell their game for the first time. That's how you do it.
That is how you do it.
You say, what is unique about our game? What is our hook? And then you just throw that out there in a succinct way and put it out there. That's great.
Yeah. The Artful Escape looks neat.
What is that game? I'm not sure about that one.
I'm sure you've seen it.
I've heard the name before, but what it is lost on me.
Let's see.
I mean, Jeff, you talk. I can look up the.
Okay. It's a nerdy man with his guitar going for weird dream
that
worlds.
Game.
Like the Endless Runner type thing.
Yeah, I remember that Guitar Man.
Yeah.
It's coming to Game Pass, baby. I think it is anyway.
Is this a Devolver game or what was?
Oh no, I think it's
This is another Annapurna game.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it looks very stylistic. Endless Runner thing, Guitar Man. Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah. Axionverse 2. Looks neat. It's going to be good. Going to do well for an indie game. Yep. Boyfriend Dungeon. Yep. Bravely Default 2. I don't think this game's going to sell particularly great.
Nah.
A lot of games that sell on the Switch. I don't think this is going to be one of them.
I am agree.
The Dark Pictures anthology Little Hope. We haven't played the first one, so we can't speak to our excitement for this.
Yeah. We'll see. Let's just move on to this next
Deadly
one.
Premonition 2,
All
A Blessing in Disguise.
So, game of the year, probably, maybe. Who knows?
The Goaty.
Yeah, super excited for this. I picked up Deadly Premonition Origins on the Switch. So,
How many times have you bought Deadly Premonition?
oh man, I think 5 times if you count when it was free on PlayStation Plus.
Nice.
So yeah, I do love that game, and I'm really excited for this. I can't believe it's happening. Swear he's on board. And just judging from that little snippet of gameplay we saw in the trailer, it looks jank as fuck.
Good.
It's set in New Orleans. It's going to be weird.
Isn't it actually a
weird,
prequel?
Wild. Yeah, it's set
Yeah,
10 years before the events of the first game.
Is that a good thing? Like
Yes.
prequel instead of sequel?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
It seems to be. I did not play Dark Dreams Don't Die, which is Square's other game that was locked to the Xbox Kinect.
Oh, yikes.
I think that's on Game Pass.
Yeah, and I don't think it was ever finished either, but this seems to be kind of bridging Deadly Premonition and that game and kind of finishing that game's story arc too.
Okay, nice.
Weird.
So yeah, there's some time travel involved. Yeah, it seems really
Oh,
bizarre.
hell yeah.
I'm all for it. Let's go.
Yeah, dude.
Let's go, baby. Okay. The next things we have a pair of games from the Danganronpa creator. Defcon True is one of those live action video game things or whatever where you choose this adventure thing. It's supposed to be a murder mystery, of course, because why wouldn't it be from that guy? I have no particular interest in this one because I usually don't care for those kind of games. So,
Jeff, did you see that Spike Chunsoft was hiring a UI creator or artist? But you have to like the Danganronpa series. I was like, man,
I
Jeff,
did.
send in your application.
I did. Give it to me.
Hire this man.
It's like you have to like B3 and it's ending. No, I'm excited for anything Danganronpa if that happened. The one I am excited, these just happen to both include Death the first time, so they're right next to each other. Death March Club. We talked about it on the podcast a little while ago. It's one where you're a bunch of kids and you got to solve a bunch of mysteries and crap, and it's gonna be
Jeff,
murder.
you know there's going to be some batshit way that these games are tied to each other.
Probably, but I'm in for this junk. It's not a guilty pleasure per se, but I guess I like anime, murder, visual novel type things. I don't know. They fill me with joy.
No, it seems really cool.
Yeah. So I'm excited for those. Next game, Destroy All Humans. It's the remake.
Speaking of filling you with something, anal probes and HD.
Bing, 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 bing. Yeah, this is one of those games I want to play, but just because of everything, I'm probably not going to get to. Definitely not right away.
Should have been a 2019 game. That would have been a little better. I'd go for that nostalgia.
Yeah.
I would have broken away from Overwatch for a little bit to go play some Destroy All Humans.
I didn't want to play this though because it's like one of the best as far as the dumb fun games.
I played so much of this game as a kid for some reason. Like I don't know how like when you had PS2s or like old consoles as a kid, like I don't remember buying any of those games. I just had those games.
Just appeared.
They just like somehow got these games, and that was one of
Appeared
them.
to my PlayStation, you know. So yeah, that'd be good. Digimon Survive, let's go. But something that's worrying about this game, we've seen almost nothing this year. So we'll see how that affects my rankings as far as my anticipation. But I'm still generally very excited for this game. I like what it's doing as far as mixing the visual novel stuff with the strategy, RPG, and just the general tone of the game has me excited still. Do we at this point want to go to Jacob's list? Then Dario and I can go back through this list later.
Yeah, I think that's probably the most wise thing to do at the moment. So Jacob,
Sure.
let's go through your most anticipated games for 2020. And like, I guess I didn't really talk to you. I do this list in a way of like, not really using logic, not thinking about it that much. Like, what do I desire the most right now? Like.
Okay, well, I didn't write a list, so I'm gonna just go off the top of my head.
Just go for it.
What do you feel in your loins?
Well, definitely Deadly Premonition 2, as we just talked about.
Oh yes.
The Good Life. So you're sweary.
Yeah.
That comes out. I did back it, so I'm definitely getting it.
Yeah.
That game is cool because it seems to be. You know how all games now they're adding photo modes into games, and that's great. Photo modes are awesome.
Yeah.
This is like photo mode the game. So you're in a small British town and you're taking photos and then like getting likes and money through posting that to like an online social media type website. And there's crazy sweary thing, and people turn into cats and dogs at some point.
That's what I knew about it.
Yeah, it seems really cool. I like the art style. It's very kind of paper mache look to it.
Yeah, I'm in for this game. Luckily, Darby, also for you, it is on Game Pass.
Yeah, I remember that.
So we could all potentially play it depending on what's coming out.
Did Xbox like post the wrong Good Life on there or something?
Yeah, it was like some weird like bargain bin like Sims knockoff.
It's really funny.
Perfect. Yeah. Perfect. Oops. Other than that, Resident Evil 3 for sure.
Of course.
Of course, I'm interested in Cyberpunk, but I'm going to wait on that. Empire of Sin.
Yeah.
Which is
I don't remember, Dario. We're talking about that game kind of one of the... I think maybe during the Respawn Aim Fire one.
It was, yeah. I was bringing up that game as a point of a good trailer that sold the concept of a new game. I just couldn't remember the name. So I was like, this noir game. I was like, this top-down noir game. I need Jacob. Jacob here.
Yeah, I've been really wanting to get into Paradox games. Paradox is, of course, the studio that makes games like Europa Universalis, Crusader Kings, Stellaris, Hearts of Iron, all those grand strategy 4X games. This game seems to be a mix of a 4X game crossed with a tactics game like XCOM. So you're a gangster in Prohibition era Chicago, and you're taking over city blocks. You're kind of building your criminal empire around that, and then you take control of like your gangsters in situations like XCOM where you're shooting people up. So seems really, really cool.
That game looks sweet.
Yeah,
it looks really good.
And the cool thing too is that most Paradox games are locked to the PC for obvious reasons, but this game will be on all consoles.
Yeah, that's one of those I would worry that the control scheme is like way worse on a controller than PC. I mean, that's something I would play on PC, but But apparently people somehow like Divinity Original Sin 2 on consoles. I cannot imagine playing that game on a controller. So apparently they managed to do things like that.
Yeah, and Stellaris I think was pretty successfully ported over to the PlayStation 4, so they do have some experience on consoles, so I am hopeful that it will run pretty okay.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome to have that like on the Switch.
Yeah.
And then other than that, Yakuza, Like a Dragon for sure.
Let's go, baby.
Yeah, we kind of got Jacob's full range of emotions on the podcast.
I'm still, I reserve the right to, be skeptical, and we'll see how that game plays out.
We'll allow it.
Yeah, see how that game plays out in the long run.
Make a Japanese PSN account and download that demo.
But yeah, so far everything about that game looks so right. And I'm excited to really get my hands on it and see how it feels to play.
Yeah.
And then I guess some smaller things. Kind of excited, but not, full in on, not like day one buy. Ghost of Tsushima. I'm interested in the game, but I don't really know how that game's going to play, what it's going to be like. So I'll probably wait on it, but looks interesting.
I'm sure I'll at least have a copy, so
yeah.
We got on that front.
I probably will too, but I am like, as we've kind of noticed this year, there's a lot of games and game genres that I'm just starting to become kind of bored with them getting static.
Yeah,
kind of like that's part of why I didn't get into Outer Worlds. It's just kind of played this game 1,000 times before. I think Ghost of Tsushima is a decent chance that becomes a game that I'm surprisingly bored by because it's Horizon, it's Far Cry, it's so many.
Yeah, I think what makes or breaks Ghost of Tsushima for me is one is how obviously it's it's inspired by Akira Kurosawa's cinematography, so that's really awesome, but also how it portrays its historical period. So it's set on Tsushima, which is an island in between Japan and Korea that was invaded by the Mongols when the Mongolian Empire tried to invade Japan. And so I'm kind of interested in that historical event and how that kind of plays out. So that's what kind of hooks me into the story, like how it's going to tackle that kind of period.
Yeah.
But we'll see. You know, a lot of games like that kind of just use that as like background dressing.
Yeah.
So, and then other than that, I guess Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, or what's it called again? Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2.
I think it's oh yeah, it's Bloodlines 2. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. Yeah.
I've not played the first one, but people speak really highly of it, and I own it, so I might try that out. And I don't know, just being a vampire in Seattle sounds like a really cool RPG experience.
I think based on just what the game looks like and everything, and just kind of the buzz around it, I think that's the potential to be one of the sleeper hits of next year, if it nails what it's trying to do.
Yeah,
Because it screams like something that could break through into the quote unquote mainstream.
It's gonna be the Disco Elysium. It's gonna like surprise win their best narrative or something at the Game Awards.
Oh, well, even that, I think what give Vampire the edge as far as like being potentially more generally liked is the type of game it is more appealing to a bigger audience than Disco Elysium's kind of top down kind of D&D type thing.
yeah. The cool thing I know about the first one of these games is that, of course, there's like 8 different vampire clans you choose to be a part of, and that again dramatically alters your playthrough experience. And the game is only about like 30 hours long.
Okay.
So the idea is that you play through it and then you go back and pick a different clan and you have a completely different experience. Like there's one clan called like the Nosferatu clan. They look like the Nosferatu vampires.
That's
and
cool.
like you can't
From
go
SpongeBob?
outside and interact with like NPCs because people just freak out when they see you.
That's cool. That's really cool.
I like how it's just, as we've gone on, 30 hours, this sounds like the sweet spot for a lot of things.
Yeah, like it sounds like a
Settling
great
in.
time.
Like
yeah.
it's not too long, but it's not like necessarily too short for like that's long enough to get a good story and stuff. Yeah.
I guess 2 more things. Skatebird.
Hell yeah.
Skateboarding
Let's go, baby.
birds.
So jolly.
Like what's not to love? And then I'm also interested in the System Shock remake.
I'm trying to. I can't remember if we talked to you. Did you play any of those demos that were from the Jeff Keighley's little thing with Epic Games Store, whatever the hell it was?
I
They
did
both
not.
had demos last week.
Yeah, I heard about that, but I think I missed out.
Yeah, it was like pretty much a day after the Game Awards that was done. So we probably all worked most of that time when they were out.
Right. Just we were talking about Half-Life earlier. System Shock is like one of those games that are just kind of like important to understand like what it is and how it kind of BioShock is the spiritual successor to that game.
Yeah.
And it kind of along with Deus Ex, like the first Deus Ex kind of created what is called the immersive sim genre, which is games like Prey and Dishonored and BioShock. And it sounds really cool. People are saying that that this new System Shock game really captures like what it was like to play that old System Shock game. And I bought the
cool.
second System Shock 2 game on Steam for like $3 a little while ago. So I might give that a shot. And yeah, I don't know. I'm down for sci-fi horror. So
this is a brand new one. It's not a remake, or is it a?
I'm not exactly.
I honestly don't know.
I'm not exactly sure. I think it's.
I remember both
confusing.
things being floated around, but I didn't know what it actually landed on. But
Yeah. Yeah, really curious to see how that turns out. I'm always down for sci-fi horror.
no Carrion on that list.
Oh, and Carrion. I almost forgot. Yeah, Carrion.
Is a remake.
Okay. That's cool. And Carrion, which is the reverse horror game from Devolver.
Yeah.
Forgot Carrion on this list.
Oh,
Excited
shame,
for it.
shame, Jeff.
Game Pass, baby.
Yeah.
That's a good list of games. Some games I'm definitely getting. Some games
On the fence, yeah.
interested in, and we'll wait and see. And then there's always games that you never saw coming that just show up. And you're
What
like,
sucks
awesome.
is my list is already insane, and then Nintendo hasn't announced like most of their games they're releasing next year.
Yeah.
Those bastards. Release Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, you cowards. Announce Odyssey 2.
Jeff will have a heart attack. All right, do you need a head on, Jacob?
Yeah, I think so.
Alrighty.
Okay. We're back, Darby.
Hello.
Going back for the list of games.
Man, we use that air horn liberally in the Nerds at Large.
We do. We all need a thing, Darby. Ours is doing air horn sounds.
With a mouth, and we don't. I love how often we do it, and it's just so lazy too. It's just.
It is. Dying Light 2, a game I keep on forgetting is coming out. It exists. So what I'm saying is, I don't think this game is going to do particularly well.
No, it also part of me forgetting it's coming out is just I don't care.
Yeah,
at all.
Well, even then, even the stuff I don't care about,
you at least are aware of it.
Yeah, this game I saw and was like, oh yeah,
you're hanging there, huh, bud? Yep.
So unless this game just blows away reviewers, I don't see this game doing well.
Crash and burn.
I assume you agree.
Yes.
Okay. Empire of Sin, we kind of talked about with Jacob. It comes out the first half of 2020. Very interested in that game.
Very interested.
But it's probably one I'm not going to get to.
Yeah, probably not immediately, but it's one of those, it could be a Disco Elysium type situation. If everyone's like, this fucking game, then be like, all right, then I might get it.
Put it on my short list.
Yeah. But.
Yep.
Probably one that, like, on our podcast a year from now, I'm like, hey, Empire of Sin's really good.
Ghost of Tsushima, summer 2020. I know we both have good interest in it,
Yeah, 100%.
This will probably sell a lot unless it's just terrible, which I don't think it will be.
No. It doesn't have like the name recognition is like the God of War and Spider-Man. It's not going to do that kind of numbers, but I'd imagine like Horizon type numbers and potentially more.
Which is still crazy numbers.
Which is still very good, big numbers.
And even Sucker Punch is a bigger name than Gorilla was before Horizon. So
Yep.
Godfall Q4 2020. I think the thing that will help the sales of this game more than anything, Darby.
This is the Gearbox Destiny clone looking one.
Yes, that's the PS5 announced game. That's coming to just PS5 and PC. It will help this game maybe sales wise more than anything is the fact that it will be a next gen title, early next gen title. That helps sales sometimes. Look at Knack. It got Knack a sequel, Darby.
Yeah.
But this game could be,
it could be. Yeah, I mean, I'm too pessimistic to say it's not my type of game, and I'm just so tired of that aesthetic over and over again.
Yeah. Even if something we're not into, there are obviously a lot of those games that sell well and well received and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Gods and Monsters, second half for 2020. The most obvious delay of any game that was announced.
I kind of have nothing to latch onto here. I have nothing to talk about because we haven't seen the damn game.
Yep. The Good Life, 2020.
Yeah, we talked. Jacob talked about that. I think that's cool. Yeah, definitely a cool game.
Guilty Gear Strive, late 2020.
My heart is blazing. This is bullshit blazing.
Yeah, I'm excited for the game. Just looks beautiful.
Yeah, it's stunning. It's stupid. It's stupid how good it looks.
And I like our System Works games, so definitely one I will keep an eye on. Everything about it looks great so far. Yeah. And kind of good news for us, as much as the community around it hates it, it is a more simple system, so we'll probably be able to get into it more. Give
me that casual bullshit.
Yeah, but we should probably. We got pretty much. We should probably try messing around with the Guilty Gear stuff on PlayStation now a little more.
I like Guitar Lady. She was cool.
I think people believe she'll come back. Halo Infinite, late 2020. Obviously, it's going to launch with the Xbox Series X.
This is obviously a game, just like so much is up in the air with this game. Like this game,
there's so much riding on this game for Xbox.
So much riding on it, and just so much like this game could be. I could be like on this podcast saying like, Jeff, like, man, this feels like I'm a kid again. It's like Halo's back. I'm like, they reinvented Halo in such a cool way. Or it could just be like, okay, this feels like an old game.
The way I feel like they've been promoting this and showing it, it's like, this is an evolution of Halo. This is going.
That's what they want you to. That's the expectation. This is what they're wanting us to
think with the name and just all the things they've been showing, but they haven't shown it yet. Which, on one hand, it's like we've known this game for over a year and a half at this point. You probably should have shown us at least a little more. It gives us a bad idea. But at the same time, it's like this is a launch title for your console, and even though if it is going to be an Xbox One, it's still a year out. So it's like.
But on a personal level, I mean, this is kind of exciting because, like, the last few Halos, I just haven't had the system to play it on. I haven't had.
You should probably try 5.
Yeah, I probably should. but I like, even when 5 was coming out, it's like I just didn't even look at trailers and stuff because it's like I can't play this game. Like I'm just not going to be able to play this game. Now this is the first time where it's like, yeah, I will. I'll play it on my PC or your Xbox, but I'll play it on my PC. I have options to play it now, so I'm interested in it. And I actually didn't talk to you about this, or I haven't said on the podcast because we haven't had a normal podcast since then. But a week ago, when I was at my house with my sister, we just were looking for something to play. So I just kind of went ahead and bought the Master Chief Collection on the PC because Halo Reach is on there now.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, like my sister, like everyone has played Halo. Almost everyone's played Halo in that era. So we downloaded Reach and like I started playing that and like sure the story is kind of whatever. It's very early 2000s like military whatever, but like Halo is just a fun game. So just playing Halo, just the gameplay of going from like set piece to set piece and just the way that the enemies are designed and the way that they come at you and flank you in interesting ways, and just like the weapons themselves just have such a good feel. Like it has it's so much more arcadey than I remember it being. I remember it being like kind of story, like yeah, we're going through this, but it's like it almost feels like Doom. It's not as crazy as Doom, but like with just the sheer fun of like it's fun to aim and shoot at aliens and do these different things. It's like, I don't know. It's a lot of fun.
So there's something I haven't really said to you on here and otherwise, but I am interested in this game.
Yeah.
As long as it is a departure. If it's just a normal Halo game, I'm probably not going to worry about it too much.
Yeah, just I get that.
But if it's an expansion on Halo, like they do some very interesting things that I believe they can do, and just be interesting for games in general, since it is going to be on Game Pass, I see myself getting a try then.
Yeah, and I mean,
Halo's aesthetic is very appealing. It is kind of simple sci-fi stuff, but I mean that in a good way.
No, and I think when you dig into Halo, the actual like lore behind it, like there's a lot to play with, and it's a very deep and detailed world. I think playing those old games, like I said, it's just Halo is just a very, very 2000s game. But it's like storytelling is very indicative of that. It's like you're playing this like the military comms come on and you're just it's like that. But like, all right, so I'm interested for you. This is just gonna be a long podcast, Jeff, and just strap it.
No. I was just curious about when Halo 5 came out. To get an idea.
No, I wasn't saying like you. I'm just saying like we're about to dive into Halo. We're diving into so many games, but there's just too much to dive into.
Yeah.
But what do you think for you? What is that Halo Infinite would like? Does that need to be a story thing that hooks you like that, or just a gameplay difference or something that's the hook? Like what do you
I'm honestly not sure. It's just
it's hard to know.
No, it's just kind of the idea of that first reveal trailer where it's that kind of open as world thing and those cool looking animals on that. They go into Master Chief's kind of like on this hill. It's like this. I just played Outer Wilds, so there is like stuff like open as world like shooter games. Yeah, but something about just the way that world look, and then potentially it being a shooter at Master Chief and all that kind of stuff with Halo's gameplay, which I have little to no experience in, but I know it's really good. Sounds kind of very appealing if it's done right and all that.
Well, that trailer just automatically just like it was like a peaceful nature shots and wildlife and everything like that. That's very different than
I just had a thought. I don't mean this is that one-to-one comparison, but where it was like Breath of the Wild with guns.
Are you going to mention Breath of the Wild?
Yeah, Breath of the Wild with guns.
It's Skyrim with guns.
No, but like it is like Halo's made Breath of the Wild moment in a way.
Because I mean, the Halo, all the old Halo games, and I realized that playing Reach again too. Like you think about those games, and it like you remember like driving across the plains and the Warthog and like all these like landscapes and everything. But it's like yes, that is true. But like especially when I just played that first chapter of Halo Reach, I'm like, these are actually like super linear games that just kind of like make you feel like they're more open than they are. It's like it's fake open, because like. There's this wide expanse of land, but you are supposed to go straight to the next thing. What
also got me a little excited is I just looked when Halo 5 came out, just double check. It is late. It was late 2015, which means 5 years in between. I gotta imagine they mostly been working on Halo Infinite. That team has since then. So they have plenty of time to do something interesting and experiment and do interesting things with this Halo game, but since it is infinite and not just 6.
Yeah.
And it's just a word, but infinite kind of means something, and I think
something's up there. Something's up.
And what I'm also feel good about the potential polish of this game, just depending, especially since it would have been 5 years, because the release date, the reason we know that the release date and everything is it's coming out with the Xbox Series X, which has a set release date. So they were going to release Halo around that. They didn't want to release it early on Xbox One and then it coming out on Series X on launch or whatever. You get what I'm saying? So
yeah, can you scoot over to the right?
Yeah. Infinite could be done months before that, and then it's just a whole bunch of polish. So it's just a very polished game, and there are no bugs or anything.
Yeah, no,
or minimal bugs, because there'll probably still be some in between gen, cross gen walking.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously not exactly the same thing because Red Dead Redemption 2 was worked on for like freaking 8 years, but it kind of reminds me of a Red Dead Redemption thing where it's like this team has been just kind of heads down on this game, like perfecting this. They probably even back then knew how much was riding on this next Halo, and I hope it's something, but. They're in a tough position because me and you are both saying we want it to be a departure, but we have absolutely zero clue what we actually want. It's a hard thing for them to do because they're a series that have been around so much. I mean, this is 6, but they also had ODST and Reach and Halo Wars, and there's been a lot of Halo, but it's also been a long time. So games have changed a lot since.
I'm expecting a meaty section of this in Microsoft's E3 presentation.
Yeah.
Meaty.
And that's the only other problem is, the only other time they showed Halo, it just kind of looked like a continuation of Halo 5 thing. But we'll see.
Yep. Hades.
I probably should, I should be more excited about this than I am. I've now played Transistor, which was phenomenal. I want to play Bastion.
Indeed.
I played some of Pyre, and it was really good from what I had played before. So, what's the name of the studio? They make phenomenal games. I forget their name. God, as soon as you say it, I'll remember. But legitimately, every single one of their games is a masterpiece. Supergiant. Every single one of their games is just absolutely phenomenal.
It's so different and such good art.
They're one of the most creative studios out there because they just every game. They're like. What weird concept that no one's ever done before are we going to do now?
Kerbal Space Program 2. I have nothing to say about this game. I know people are very excited for it. I'm happy for them. Little Nightmares 2, baby. Let's go. Boom, 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 boom. I'm excited for this game. Though I can't remember. It was announced today. The studio who works on this game was just bought by a company. Let me see. You can. I can do it. So this will probably be the last Little Nightmares games because Little Nightmares is a Bamco property. So, I'm very excited for this game. Little Nightmares is a very
Tarsier studio. I'll keep looking, but
okay. It's a very neat game. I'm excited to see where it goes, and I think you should play it, Dar. I think you'd enjoy it.
Yeah, I should. I need to.
Part of the
played it too.
The vibe of the game is just the art style and all that's really cool, and the gameplay is just kind of inside.
Embracer Group acquires the studio. I don't know what.
THQ Nordic Cook Media.
Whatever. THQ Nordic. Go.
Yay. Okay.
Okay.
So I think you'd enjoy the game. The gameplay is kind of inside light. It's not as good as Inside, but it's like Inside, and the vibe is really good.
Inside is legitimately a perfect video game.
I don't disagree.
It's a smaller video game. It's easier to be perfect, but there's nothing wrong with it.
The first Little Nightmares are great. I'm excited for this game. Moving on, Microsoft Flight Simulator.
I'm gonna go look at my house. All right.
Yeah. No more heroes to you. Let's go.
Foo, is that you?
Damon.
Hell yeah.
No, I'm excited.
I'm excited for you.
Something neat. You know who plays Foo?
Freaking Matthew Mercer, freaking Nolan North, freaking Troy Baker. All three of them morphed into one voice.
Noshir Dallo, AKA Charles from Red Dead Redemption 2.
Whoa, that's weird. Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
So
man, I miss Red Dead Redemption 2.
after I read that, because Pseudo was like shout out to the voice actors or whatever, and saw who it was, like I hear it now. I hear it.
Really? Yeah, I need to listen back. Maybe I'll hear
It like the tone and everything, the way he talks different, but I hear the voice. Like
yeah.
So I am very excited for this game. The more that trailer just got me really hyped as far as what the game is going to be, and the fact that I'm excited for the villains of the game like this.
Talk about a long time since the last game.
Yeah, but
But
a
how
whole
about
year.
the freaking goatee? If you are you done with we're here, sir.
Pokemon Sleep Derby.
Yeah, that's what I'm
That
talking
is
about.
a joke.
Goatee Pokemon
Yeah.
Sleep.
That's obviously a joke one I put in here. I just saw in the weeks here. It's like, screw it, let's put it in here. But
The real goatee.
Psychonauts 2, the real goatee. I'm so hyped for this game, Derby. So hyped. So let's get into it.
That's gonna be. There's gonna be real Jeff tears.
They're gonna be real Jeff tears.
Real Jeff tears.
Yeah. No, I'm really excited for this game. I'll probably go over maybe a little more why I'm excited when we go over our top 10 list. Okay, the Red Lantern.
We finally found the one that I forgot. I don't think it would be in my top 10, but honorable mentions, somewhere there. But this is the game I forgot.
This is the game that's also going to be on Game Pass, right?
I think so.
Too many games that are coming to Game Pass.
But this is the sled dog one. That
Ashley Birch.
Yeah, Ashley Birch, and who's phenomenal.
We haven't mentioned her being part of this game, and I don't think in quite a while, but I suddenly remembered it.
Yeah. Which is
Getting excited again.
Big get. The story, it seems like a very story-based thing, and I'm so in when that was a really good trailer. I think there's only been the one trailer, right? But it was really good.
Yeah. Session. I'm sorry, Roller Champion. Sorry. Gotta give them their due. That's that Ubisoft Roller Derby. Yeah. Session.
This is the one we thought was Skate. I don't really know much about it. If it's a Skate clone, cool. If it's like a Tony...
I'm going to skip the next game and go to the next...
If it's a Tony Hawk...
I'm going to skip the next game. I'm going to go back to it because, it just works out. Skatebird, baby!
Skatebird!
Yeah, excited for this. Unfortunately, I mean, it's still a year out, but I heard people say the demo is pretty wonky. But it's a year away.
Yeah.
So
it is a smaller indie game. I hope it's not that expensive.
It is a thing. I think Easy Allies talked about it. There's a lot of hope riding on this very small game that they probably weren't prepared for.
They probably weren't.
But I'm excited to play it because this one is good to be on Game Pass.
Yeah.
So
I hope it actually can live up to its premise. Obviously, we're all just it kind of reminds me of Untitled Goose Game, where we're all excited about it just because it's such a funny concept. Mm-hmm. But at least for me, you dig into Untitled Goose Game and there's not much special about it, and I feel like Skatebird might be the same thing, but it is fun to look at least.
We'll see. Shantae and the Seven Sirens, Derby.
Dude, a few weeks ago. This wasn't on my radar.
Good for you.
Yeah, a few weeks ago, I'd be like, okay, cool, new Shantae.
I didn't look. It's supposed to be the first half of 2020.
And I didn't realize how much. Is this full game on the Apple Arcade, or was it just some?
It's only the first part, apparently.
Okay, because I saw the 40-minute of gameplay and I watched some of that and everything. And obviously, I think the in-game stuff doesn't look visually that much different, but they were already doing the environment to look more expansive, and then the 2D art looked.
Seven Sirens is supposed to be more Metroidvania-y.
No, that's cool.
More like a classic Metroidvania, I believe.
Yeah, that could be cool. But I am legitimately loving Half Genie here. The more I play it, the more I really like this game a lot. Was
it crazy?
It went from I was like, hey, this is a fun, jolly game that I'm playing, to where last night I was legitimately, I was like I have an hour and a half. Do I play Devil May Cry or do I keep playing Shantae? It's I want to keep playing Shantae.
It's a damn good game.
I really like it.
Good.
Jolly vibes. So yeah, no, I am actually really excited for this game now. I had never looked at anything until today for this game, but
I am really hyped for this game. Spiritfarer, another game I'm
super excited. Again, awesome trailer. I'm excited from that trailer. We don't really know much about the game, but I'm intrigued.
I've been saying this. I've said this for a dozen games we're interested in. Game Pass.
Yeah, boy.
SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated.
Everything we said about No More Heroes, copy and paste here.
You mean Destroy All Humans?
What'd I say?
You said No More Heroes.
Oh, yeah, Destroy All Units. Copy and paste here. This is a game I played the absolute shit out of in the PS2, so it'll be cool to revisit that.
Honestly, what might be the smart thing to do for both those games whenever we do maybe have time to play them is maybe split it and just, even if it's just for a stream, streaming purposes.
Yeah.
This one will be on Switch, baby.
I played this game so freaking much. It's crazy.
Streets of Rage 4, first half 2020. I think this game's, just based on what I've seen, I think it's going to make Streets of Rage fans happy. It's probably not going to sell particularly well.
Yeah.
Game Pass again, baby.
Yeah.
We'll stream it probably.
That freaking service.
Super Meat Boy Forever finally coming out.
Yeah, happy it's coming. Yeah, but we need to move on with this podcast, and neither of us are Super Meat Boy guys.
Surgeon Simulator 2 looks so much wackier than the first one.
Yeah.
System Shock. I think
we
did the conversation with
that,
Jacob. Yeah. Tales of Arise.
Tales of Budget.
Tales of Budget, baby. We might be seeing more in the next week or two.
I hope so, because there's definitely some confirmations I want in this game. Like, I want to know that there's multiplayer. I want to know what the battle system's like. I'm hyped either way, but definitely a lot more hyped if those things are confirmed.
Yeah.
But nah, dude. It's a Tales game that looks so good that it tricked me into not knowing what it was. It's crazy.
Yeah, unfortunately it leaked, so I wasn't able to join you in the surprise.
Yeah. Just sucks that why does it takes so many iterations for like Japanese companies to be like, all right, fine, we'll put budget in. We'll try. It just seems like if they can get away with the shitty, just like recycled stuff, they'll do that forever and ever and ever. Yeah. God bless Final Fantasy VII Remake. How is this game happening?
Tell me why. In summer 2020 from Don't Nod, also on Game Pass, baby. Let's go.
Is it gonna be May?
Yes.
For the release?
Yeah. No, I'm excited for this game.
Yeah. Don't Nod does everything they do is good, and this one looks like it has more budget.
Don't go that far. Remember me's a thing.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, it's okay from what I've heard. But.
Their story stuff, a lot of Life is Strange has been pretty good. Basically, Life is Strange is good. Is what I'm trying to say. And this has a little more budget. Main character being a trans character is pretty damn cool, if I say so myself.
Yep. Not a caricature, from what we can tell, is always a plus.
Yes.
Okay, next game. One we're not probably just going to say and then move on. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Quarantine.
Yep.
Twin Mirror. This game's still coming out. Speaking of Don't Nod.
Wait, which one is it?
Twin Mirror.
Don't remember this one.
It's...
Okay.
It's kind of a thing. I think the guy has split personalities or something, or he's like, how did I get here type thing or something like that. I don't know. It's another Don't Nod game that just kind of...
is there.
So now coming out.
Vampire 2.
Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. Looks neat. I am curious about this game.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Totally. Watch Dogs Legion, baby.
It's such a Jeff game, and man, wrong year, but I mean, it is second half, so.
Yeah, I'll just say, no telling about when it's coming out. I'm actually happy. Honestly, unless it comes out at a time that there really is nothing around it or anything, I might just wait for the PS5 version.
Yeah.
For this. Because it is going to be playable on PS5.
Yeah. It is going to
probably right away.
It's going to be at least close to that time of year. So
I might just wait for that, because with all this is going on, I feel like the extra power might do it good.
I think by this time next year, we're going to have new consoles.
We are. Nice. Windjammers 2.
And we're using the power of those new consoles. We're going to play some Windjammers. This game is legitimately probably going to be a fun party game for us.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Mm. Is this Game Pass too?
I don't think so. Not yet, anyway. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, Darby. Let's go.
Fixing them faces.
really fixing his face. Dude, anyone who says it's not much of an improvement or the original is better are literally crazy.
They're not feeling it, Jeff.
They are not feeling it. No, like, I mean, legitimately, anyone who said, like, this is not a big improvement visually just had not looked together a while, not see it side by side. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And there's also some added on content that was removed from the original game just from a time standpoint and all that. And I love the Xenoblade franchise. I love the Xeno games in general. Xenoblade is the only one of the three Xenoblade, the original one, this one, the only one I have not finished.
Yeah.
So I'm getting this game.
Hell yeah.
I
wonder how this is gonna sell now that Chronicles 2, right?
Yeah,
as well. It's sold over 1 million.
I think it's going to sell well, and I'm not saying this for sure. I think it has the potential to sell better than 2.
I don't know. A
No.
port of an old game.
Yeah, but this is a game that has been very highly regarded. The Xenoblade name is bigger, and this has designs that doesn't scare away people like 2.
But some of those designs will bring in other people.
True, but those people will stay for the anime bullshit. Again, I said potential. I'm not saying it's likely or anything.
Yeah.
I think it has the potential.
I think it's pretty low chance, but I think it could happen.
Yeah. You never know.
I just think the flashy new game is always going to sell better than, because this isn't like a complete remake to the point where it looks like as good as Chronicles 2, right? I'm not remembering that wrong, right?
No, I mean it looks pretty close. It's a pretty substantial thing.
I would be pretty shocked if it sold more than Chronicles 2. I think Chronicles 2 was a crazy overperform. I'm not saying that it was like a fluke or something, but that was a lot for a Xenoblade. I would be surprised if this got to that. Maybe Chronicles 3 or whatever the next real one, but we'll see.
Final game on our list before we get to our top games. Yakuza Like a Dragon.
I think this game looks so cool, but again, I am a turn-based RPG guy. That is my type of game, my preferred type of game. And as much as I'm enjoying Yakuza 0 and I want to get back to and go through all those are not my type of game. And I kind of the combat is fun enough, but it gets boring. For me, the just button mashing beat 'em up can only take me so far. I'm enjoying DMC, but I can't play too many of these games. Yeah. And Yakuza, I already in the little bit I played, the combat starts to get to yep, I'm doing the same thing over and over and over.
What also is exciting with this game, other than the whole turn-based thing, I mean, I'm the same way as you, obviously, is the fact that it looks like the environments and who you're fighting and stuff, as far as visually going, it affects at least what it looks like visually and all that, which will not make it not that make it not as boring in the long run.
It looks like the whole dynamic system or whatever seems really cool to me. How you choose moves, but it kind of matters where you are in the thing, and they'll pick up environment stuff. It's it looks like they're going at this in the right way for this big.
And it's turning the Yakuza wackiness to 11.
Yeah, dude. I get why Yakuza fans are somewhat hesitant, obviously, for someone on the outside and someone who this is transitioning into my preferred type of game. And it, like you said, it just seems like they are just. It's not like they're just lining up and attack. It's no, we're gonna make this into a freaking crazy cutscene. Yeah, out of your choices.
And it's not more where you just pick attack. It's positioning might matter as well. Yeah. So, but also kind of good news as far as potential thing is the biggest Yakuza fans we follow are easy allies, bar none. Yeah. And the big fans on there seem to be very excited and happy that this is. And a different direction.
Other good thing is that this is an entry point. It's a new character. Me and you could jump into this.
Kiryu, I think they showed in the last trailer, is going to appear in the game, but
I have to imagine
how big the role is. Hey, he's in the game somewhat, maybe for a little bit. Blah, blah. Yeah. He's not the main character and not a party member, or the main party member. Yeah, before they said so.
All righty, Jeff. I think it is that time. So how do you want to do this? We are going to talk. We're going to do our top 10 most anticipated games of 2020. At least I think this is how we did it last time. I'm doing it by like just my desire to play it. Like it's just an innate desire.
Oh yeah.
Like some of these games are probably going to be like we've barely seen them, and other games we've seen a lot of. So it, like you could make the argument as like, oh, I'm not going to put this there because we haven't seen enough of it. I'm not doing that. I'm going off of what does my mind desire, right now. So I figure we could go honorable mentions and then go 10 up to 1, right?
Yeah.
Like 10, 10, 9, 9, 8, 8,
Yeah.
that kind of deal here. So Jeff, why don't you hit us with some of them honorable mentions?
So I pretty much ranked it. I got a list of like 30 plus games in here. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I did as far as like ranking, as far as my desire, 1 through 15. So what I'm going to do for these honorable mentions is go through 11 through 15.
I had them kind of ranked, but I didn't I didn't put a whole lot of like analyzing comparing them all 10 down. So I don't put
less thought into these.
Yeah.
There are a bunch of games that I wish I put in there. I was going to say like I'm looking forward to Resident Evil 3. It's not in any of those because I haven't played 2 yet. I think that's a fair thing.
Yeah.
There are a whole bunch of games. I didn't even put Spiritfarer on my list this long. So there's a lot of stuff there. It's like I did. Number 15, Guilty Gear Strive.
Nice.
That just looks really fun. I really like Arc System Works crazy anime combat systems and all that. The visually is just stunning and all that. And I think at least the characters are the right level of anime. 14, Little Nightmares 2. Nice. Like I said, I really, really like 1. Nice. I'm all in for more of that vibe and all that. And I'm curious to see if what the maybe improvements to the gameplay is.
Yeah.
And again, visually it's great. 13. Tell me why. As mentioned before, Donut's awesome. I'm very interested in this story. I'm very curious how they treat their transgender character and how that's all gonna go. I think if anything, it's going to be one of the more important games of 2020. So I am very interested to see what they do in here. And just the premise of it has me excited. Number 12, Ghost of Tsushima.
That's pretty low.
I think it made more sense if we go on. I am very excited for this game. I love Sucker Punch. As I mentioned before, I've loved every game they've done since the first Sly.
Yeah.
So I love them as a developer, but as well, I'm not as... as Darby's talked about the whole open world thing, fatigue thing. Well, I haven't played enough to get there, but also the reason I'm not fatigued is they're not normally those type of things. My style of game, my preferred ones. So.
No, like it's like we talked about this, I think, on the last podcast or Game Wars or something. That when I think about like the games that could contribute, the games that I'm worried about Ghost of Tsushima just basically mimicking. You haven't played any of them. Like it just doesn't coincide with you. So I legitimately could see this being a similar thing to Outer Worlds, where you play this and love it, and I play it and I'm kind of like, just don't, I mean, because this is a larger video game problem of just like, people kind of going with the tried and true formula, because like they're good games, they make a good game. But it does get kind of...
Well, the good news is, as we went through all those games, there are plenty of games for it to play if, like, you're not feeling these type of games.
Yeah, but that would be a bummer, because I do like the setting so much, and I love,
Number 11, Watch Dogs Legion. I love Watch Dogs 2. I love the general system of this game that they showed. Reason it didn't break my top 10 is because I still have that innate fear that it may not live up to its potential.
And I think you should. I think everyone should have that fear until we have the game in our hands.
But at the very least, if it doesn't live up to the potential, I will at least have some fun with this game.
Yeah. It's one of those, definitely look at the review scores, because it's going for something. It's going very experimental.
So that is my 15 for 11.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna kind of read off mine. Mine are I'm not 100% with this order, because I was just basically pushing things down the list. So I'm just going to kind of read off my, like, below 10. I have SpongeBob, because I put some of these other ones. I'll put SpongeBob and Destroy All Humans. I have both of those there. Like, those were very important games to me as a kid. It'll be cool to revisit those. And it's just also, I just desire those because it's like, this is happening.
Yeah.
We're doing this. It's like, this is a crazy thing that like those games are getting like this level of treatment where they look good.
I mean, that's the thing. I think we have the right
crazy.
expectations for them. Where we're not expecting like 10 out of 10 great games.
I'm expecting like it is a full nostalgia like hit.
It will be a fun time.
But like it would have been cool enough. It's like, hey, we're porting these to PS4 or whatever. But the fact that they're like, it's one of these. I wasn't even 100% sure if a bunch of other people played these games. Like for all I knew, like. I thought I might have been I thought these might have been like kind of small games that just happened to have.
I know people played Destroy All Humans, or at least some people did. But the SpongeBob game, I was not as sure, especially when there were so many of them. But a lot of people online.
Apparently, we all just as kids ended up with that game. Apparently,
no,
it's so weird.
I mean, even if we don't do it for the stream, like I could see like. On a lull time, just me getting it for the Switch, just having a good time.
Well, it's like, if we do it on stream, I guarantee you I'll end up like every environment we go into, it'll all come back to me a bit. Holy shit, I remember this. Oh my God, I know where this collectible is. Holy shit. It's like, that's so cool. Okay, other ones I have. Empire of Sin, super interested in this game. It's doing it for me vibe-wise and just everything else. I have Persona 5 Royal on here, you know, like we said, it's not a whole lot different. Like, who knows going there. I have Tokyo Mirage Sessions on their honorable mention because I don't know. I think that game could be for me, but we don't know. We don't know.
Sorry, I'm not gonna lie to you. I love that game so much that it is tempting. The fact there's nothing in January, for me. But I'm not doing it. Not for $60.
I mean, like I could pull out your Wii U. It's still at my parents' house.
That's true. Yeah, but I want those additional songs.
Like, I should probably just play it on your Wii U instead. But who wants to use the Wii?
Yeah.
Okay, other ones I'll just go through them real quick. Doom Eternal, I'm going to play it eventually. It's just, you know, I got to play first Doom first. Resident Evil 3, same thing. Got to play RE2 first, but I'm definitely getting it. These are the more relevant ones. Carrion, super awesome vibe with
I got to put that on my list. I forgot to put it on here. I'm messing up.
Red Lantern, which I just added on there. Honorable mention, I forgot. And like just outside the top 10, I have Halo Infinite.
Nice.
Because Halo Infinite could be something that's one of my top of the year potentially, or it could be something that
I think it's safe to guarantee you're going to at least try it out.
Oh yeah.
Unless you hear it's an absolute dumpster fire.
Yeah. But especially
I don't think that's.
I don't think that, and especially like Game Pass means that like even if it's like 7 out of 10, it's like, oh, I'm gonna try it. You know, it's like I don't have to pay money for it. Okay, so those are my honorable mentions. Jeff, hit us with that 10.
Shantae.
7
Sirens, baby. No, I talked about it a year ago, whenever it was. I love Half Genie Hero. I've been looking forward to this one. I hate that it's technically out, but it's on phones.
First part. But you said it's not.
It's only the first part of it. I don't know what exactly that means. It's like 7 Sirens Part 1 or whatever. I don't know exactly what it means. It might just be the first world or something.
Yeah, so probably not a ton. I mean, like the when I looked it up, I did see the wordage of like demo or something. So like it might just be sold as a demo. You know,
I don't know. Like point is, it's a version can be played up to a point out there, but I'm not gonna play it. Just
think of it as a demo that you can't play.
I'm gonna get it on Switch when it comes out. It's supposed to be first half this year. What makes me also excited for this is kind of like what you're doing it now. It's kind of just a low stress game. Just kind of have while you're doing other stuff. Nice, That will be what it's like. Let's say it comes out like around Last of Us, Cyberpunk, whatever. That is a game I am more than willing to play beside those games.
Yeah. So that is what I'm doing with John Taze.
As like a little palate cleanser and all that.
Yeah.
It will be a jolly time, and it's going back to the more general Metroidvania roots of the series, which is cool. And one thing that I guess is interesting, based on what I've seen, they're not doing straight up transformations like in Half Genie Hero. It's more like temporary transformation to do moves or something. I might be wrong on that. This is what I saw. I didn't look too much into it because it's one of those things of I don't need to see much of this game. I already sold on it, so I didn't look that much into it.
Yeah.
So, what do you got, Dark?
It might be on my list. Yeah. I don't know between number 9 and 10. I'll just go with what I put down there. Number 10 is Spiritfarer.
Nice.
again, it's. I think the only reason this is not higher on my desire thing is just because I don't 100% know what the game is. Mm-hmm. I just know that art style and just like honestly the little story it told, even with like no words, and it was just like it was a short thing, but just the kind of like setting the tone there or whatever, and then you realize like, oh, these people are dying or dead.
No, they are dead.
Like, and you're like carrying their spirits into the afterlife. I'm like, I watched that trailer. It's like, yep, I'm going to cry.
No. Like the whole thing. Are we talking about what a debut trailer needs to do? Yes. This is like A+ as far as it's showing us. Like it does the whole thing of, oh, this could be a happy game. You're just talking to these animal people, and it's like oh no, you're taking them to the afterlife. And I think there's stuff coming out like what you got to do while they're on the boat, while you're taking the afterlife, is kind of may get rid of the regrets or something. So you learn more about them and then take it. So there are going to be tears in this game as long as it does what it is well.
Yeah. Like I said, this game I feel like will be higher than this, but it's So, man, I'm so interested in that game.
Okay, my number 9, Digimon Survive, baby.
Hey.
It's number 3 last year.
Oh wow, yeah.
So that
shows you what 2020 is like.
Yeah, and like I said when we were going through the list, I am a little worried the fact they haven't shown much. Though Jump Festa or whatever, I think it's happening soon.
It's happening right now. The only reason I know is because everyone was thinking there was going to be a new Final Fantasy VII trailer, but it was an old one.
Oh, okay. That might be where like the anime stuff we mentioned earlier might have came from. I don't know. So
yeah, probably.
Might get something more from that. We got to hear about this game soon. I think it's supposed to come out this year. So unless something crazy happened, it's probably not kind of like at the very end of next year. Hopefully.
Yeah, they've been talking about that game for a while, right?
Yeah, they just haven't shown crazy amount, but especially as we go on, like I just love the idea of what this game is as far as the tone of it. It's supposed to like be more mature Digimon story, which Digimon can do well.
I mean, the game is legitimately beautiful in some of that 2D art.
Yeah, the 2D art looks great. I love strategy RPGs, and adding Digimon in there is great. Something that everyone, this whole thing about Digimon against Pokemon, everyone's like, Pokemon's instantly better. Where it's like, Digimon's not as big, but I think part of it because they take risks, whether it be in the anime or the games and stuff. They take risks, and because of it, it can be a lot of times a more interesting.
And we're
series.
also it's like if you actually know what you're talking about, like we're kind of past the whole Digimon and Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like we get it, Pokemon won. Like they're different things. It's like
you're not better for liking one and not the other.
Right.
I love both for mostly different reasons.
I can see Digimon Survive being one of those where it's like people online are like, no, really, it's good. Like it's actually good. I know it's Digimon, but it's like
I mean, if they nail the gameplay and the story aspect of it, this could get something like the Fire Emblem crowd as far as for the gameplay perspective and some of the anime visual novel stuff. It just
sucks that I really do feel like the decks are stacked against Digimon with everything they do. It's only so many. Like, there's going to be a big group of people that just never plays a Digimon game.
Dari, here's the interesting thing about this game. This is the game I could legitimately see me recommending to you. Like, and I can't do that with a Pokemon game.
Yeah,
I just can't
because they won't take those chances. So like
but this game, like even you saw this, like this stuff looks cool, and obviously I'm gonna play it. I can be like, Dari, no, gameplay is really, really cool. The story's actually neat.
One trailer from that game is more visually interesting than anything Pokemon's ever done. I mean, who knows what the game will turn out? I'm just saying, like, from just looking at the game, I'm like, Digimon is like a weird image into like what would Pokemon have been if it wasn't as absurdly popular as it is. Like if they had room or felt like
the
they
idea
needed
of
to take
the
chances.
Digimon like taking chances if Pokemon doesn't. There's just a trailer release for a Digimon movie that's coming out next year, and it's called The Last Evolution, where it's a whole thing of the kids from the original Digimon thing are grown up. It's like the whole thing of when you're grown up, your connection between your Digimon partner or whatever are severed pretty much.
No,
like,
jeez.
I'm going to cry during this thing.
Sounds pretty brutal.
That's Digimon. The endings of Digimon series always made me cry.
Man.
And I'm going to watch the movie and probably cry my eyes out. I'm hyped. Even though the last anime Digimon Tribe was terrible. Go on,
We don't talk about that. My number 9, won't talk about too long because we already did. Shantae and the Seven Sirens.
This makes me very happy.
We went from 0 to 9 real quick. No, yeah. When I talk about desire, I'm playing this game, and I think I'm going to desire more of it when I'm done.
This is gonna be again. We have all these kind of big, kind of story-heavy games that are gonna be between us, but then we're gonna also have this that we're both probably gonna be talking about.
Like, I need this. I need this right now. So I kind of. Sean, this game has been the perfect mix of like I've gotten to a few of those boss battles or like the worm coming out and you're jumping up, like a few moments where it's like, okay, I need to think and I'm dying a few times, like like using the abilities in cool different ways. Like it makes you think enough, but it's not like Cuphead or something. It's not like gruelingly difficult, and I'm also not getting like stuck constantly. And I know that's a weird thing to be like happy about, but like I do almost, I kind of hope that when they go back to Metroidvania, they don't go like so hard that I'm like, I don't want this to like Metroid. To me, I enjoy Metroid, but it's stressful.
Yeah,
it is not the same experience as Shantae. Like it's a stressful. Hollow Knight is stressful. I love Hollow Knight, but it's stressful. I kind of like Shantae because it's not super stressful.
I mean, I think it's gonna be more in the direction than have Genie Hero, but even have Genie Hero's Metroidvania aspects with transformations. You go back and you can go to places.
But that's why it's kind of Metroidvania light, and I kind of like that. Yeah. I kind of like that it's a light.
I don't think we'll go too hard on that, but I'm glad you're excited for the game.
Yeah.
My number 8. No more Heroes Stay, baby. Let's go. Foo! Now I'm excited for that. I keep on saying that trailer is magnificent.
Yeah. No, it's really good.
Yeah, it's getting me more excited for it, and just kind of more stuff that's coming out for it. I just love what Pseudo's doing with this game as far as the tone and what exactly the game's about. And I think it's just like, how do you keep on like the first 2 games we're going at an assassin ranking? It's like, how do you one up that? Oh, you're going to be fighting alien superhero things.
Like, I sincerely hope this is not the last of these. Like, I really want some other crazy trailers. Like, do a Death Stranding. Just, like, keep releasing these crazy trailers.
They confirmed, or the voice actor confirmed, Sir Henry motherfucker is going to be in this game.
He's back, you guys. Yeah. He's back.
People don't know that's Travis's brother. We got him. That's Travis's British brother.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, then.
All right. My number 8 is Tell Me Why. Yeah, we talked about this a lot. I'm just very interested because it does seem like there's some... Don't Nod's not afraid to like continue to kind of innovate, like to take what this like formula that really works with Don't Nod and like this tone and the writing they do, but also like with Life is Strange 2, it's delving into some it's like 2 Hispanic kids, and it's like it delved into some like different types of people, like this like brother relationship, and like I'm just very, very like I really want Tell Me Why to be something that we keep talking about it, but I really want it to be something that trans people are able to look and say like, finally, like we got like this is a mainstream like big developer that's even being at Microsoft press conferences that's not afraid to to be what it is, and I hope it's done well, and that excites me if it is,
My number 7 is Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm very excited. This is the reason I mentioned before. I love the Xenoblade series. I love Xeno games. The only Xenoblade game I have not played to completion, so I'm very excited for this with the much better graphical style. Big improvement. Giant improvement.
I don't know. I like the garbage faces, Jeff.
But honestly, I think part of the reason I started is I really, it was that bad. The faces were not good. So I'm very excited for this, and I'm curious to see what people think of that new content and how substantial it is, because it's like a whole new area.
The whole concept of the world you're walking around on being like you're walking on like the shoulder of this giant like robot thing or like statue thing. That's just cool.
Yeah, and and then kind of the similar thing with too, where you're on these giant like monster things, and like you're running towards town, and you see the monster's head up in the sky. Just
so cool.
Yeah,
so cool.
So we're excited for that.
My number 7, right? Yeah, number 7 is Tales of Arise.
That's my number 6, baby.
Oh, let's just combine them. Let's just combine them right
So,
here.
if we mentioned for Tales of Budget, Dory, this is taking a series me and you both love. We love to play together, and it's giving it a proper budget and looks like it's actually a current gen game.
Yep, because I mean, like, sadly, as much as like I enjoy Tales of Berseria, we have to like make excuses for it. We have to be like, yep, it looks like a 2009 game or something at best. Like it does not look like what a current game. Like all the other games we're playing around it just looks so much worse than
It's
that.
one of those things like character models look. I mean, they still look kind of oldish, but they look better than everything. The backgrounds in the world are what really like. That's what really shows like the kind of age of it. Where this world looks kind of big and
and just how the like
going on.
The draw distance is terrible. You walk into a town and like it's not lively. Like there's not people aren't like someone is supposed to be like fixing food or something and they're literally just standing there staring at the counter. It's like it's you have to make a lot of concessions for those. Like you enjoy them because you know the story's good or because the experience of playing it is good, but you know there's a lot of things. But yeah, this is kind of like it reminds me of which maybe I shouldn't say this because I didn't end up liking that game, but like as much. But this reminds me of like what I felt about going into Fire Emblem Three Houses, where I'm like, this looks like this is going to be the definitive version of this game that has the heart that I love of this series, but I could give it to any random person and they're not going to say, but it looks bad, but it feels old, you know.
Well, even this, I don't even know that's fair.
Be.
That's not giving enough credit to how good Tales of Arise looks compared to
it's so much better than anything into Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
But Fire Emblem was more of like a gameplay perspective but yeah. Okay, so I guess that's in number 6. My number 6 is Ghost of Tsushima.
Ooh. Yeah. It's kind of one of those weird things. I'm technically more excited for it too, but it's
weird. You just have more games, but that's how that works a lot of times. And I mean, honestly, Ghost of Tsushima is a weird one because it might be like lowered. It should be lower down, but like I really want to like Ghost of Tsushima. I mean, this is my style of game. It's just it's a lot of other people's style of game too, so we get a lot of them. But I mean, that being said, the environments look beautiful. The setting is very different. I mean, compared to these, it has way more of a historical like setting, and it's it's not as supernatural out there, and like I feel like,
at least so far there are hints of it.
But like I feel like some of this could remind me at its best, Ghost of Tsushima I think is going to remind me of like Red Dead Redemption 2. It's not going to be as good because like that game's insane, but as far as Red Dead Redemption 2's sense of realism and just exploration and just like I would literally get on my horse and just ride and just be in the world and do nothing, I think at its best Ghost of Tsushima could have that, where I'm on this island, I'm looking at these like these very this Japanese scenery that I just don't get to see very much, and the wilderness in there and everything, and even some of the shots on the horse, it like reminded me like everything felt kind of heavy like Red Dead Redemption 2 did. Like even Horizon, a lot of these other ones, they're a lot like lighter, like you're doing all this, but in Red Dead Redemption, like you shooting a gun, it felt like boom, and at its best I think Ghost of Tsushima could get that, and just I like Jacob said, I want it to lean into the historical nature of it.
I'm hoping that kind of like Red Dead. I mean, again, like you said, it's not going to be at the Red Dead 2 level with this one, about to say, because Ghost of Tsushima felt like it's taken a long while, because it was 2014 when Second Son came out, and I think there were some things where they had another project, it got scrapped, they restarted. I think so, but even then, this game has taken a while. I want to play this game and see the environment and level of detail, and I'd be like, this is why it took so long, like we did with Red Dead 2. Yeah. I'm hoping for that.
Yep. I think there's I think no matter what, this game's good. It's just, is it a really good Horizon game with a samurai skin that is fun but not unique? or is it going to be something?
Are we going to talk about this in the same breath as Last of Us Part 2, where we're like, Sony nailed the end of this generation. Yeah. This is what they ended on. Yeah. Like we did last generation with Last of Us.
Or is it going to be, there's Last of Us Part 2, and then there's, Ghost of Tsushima, also a very strong game. But,
My number 5, Darby. Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Yeah, boy, that's up there.
That's up there. That's a very fantastic game. The original Ori.
I knew you would love it.
I knew I would love it.
Yeah, I know you knew. There's a lot of these games that we have to just get each other to play, and it's hard. You got to play what you feel at the I
there's so many games.
The game's
and
phenomenal.
I feel like the sequels are on here for a couple of them. That when we do our 20, I got like 5 games old games I played this year. That I'm like, I absolutely love. So I'm probably just going to do a small mini ranking of those.
Nice.
And, it'll make sense as far as like, you're like, oh yeah, Jeff did love all these games when he played them. But Ori is fantastic.
It's so damn good, dude. I remember back in 2015, I played it on my horrible laptop, not this one, my old one that could barely run it, because that art style and the music was like, I have to play this game. I don't have an Xbox, but god damn it, I played this game.
Yeah. This is one of the games like at the top list of I have no doubts that this is going to be amazing.
We're bummed about it continuously being delayed, but I'm not like worried about the game. The game is going to be phenomenal. The only thing I'm so sad
is like, oh no, it went from the perfect time for you to play this game to a less perfect time. Yeah. But this game is still going to be amazing. Just looking at that last recent trailer in particular, it's like I could see you can kind of see just the visual stuff, even how the first Ori looks amazing, but you can kind of tell where the upgrades are between the two games, and you can look and tell some of the gameplay additions to what Ori can do is like, oh, looks like we're gonna have a lot more combat options. Like I think I saw them doing attacks like that is definitely not in Ori 1. Let's go.
And also, I feel like most of the trailers we've seen pretty much the same type of environment. Which, in the first Ori, like the different sections of that map look pretty different. And I think that's probably just going to be even more.
There is a bunch of shared clips from the more recent trailer of the Game Awards and some of the previous ones. Like there's literally shots for shot the same.
Okay, yeah, right. And I haven't looked too close to these trailers because, like, again, I don't need to.
I didn't look back. I was like, I know I've seen this like exact thing before.
But I'm sure there's going to be some areas that we get to where we're like, holy shit.
100%. And we're probably going to cry.
Monster design. Like
and we're going to cry.
Yeah, we're going to cry. And just the freaking music. Yeah. God, the music in Ori is so damn good.
This could be a very good year for Microsoft.
Yeah. I didn't even... Wait, where are we? Oh, no, we're on 5. We're on 5. Okay, sorry. Let's get one. All right, my number 5 is 12 Minutes.
Nice.
Trailer, A+, 10 out of 10 trailer. It's crazy. This game is probably going to only be my, like, 6th or 7th or 8th favorite game of the year, even though it looks phenomenal. But we'll see.
Yeah.
But I am desiring. So, yeah.
Looks really neat. My number 4, Cyberpunk.
Nice.
Yeah. This game is one of the highest ceilings for many games on this list, probably.
100%.
As far as like how revolutionary this could be and how much it influences how other people make games and all that kind of stuff. Like, the stuff that's going on here looks insane. And I'm very excited to see what happens. It's crazy this is coming out.
Yeah, this is another one that, like, there's a chance that this, that some of what they've been showing has been a little hot air. There's a chance. I think the CD Projekt Red knows what the hell they're doing. They're gonna hit it, but and I think that's a testament to how freaking just cool this game looks on a surface level just immediately that you haven't played Witcher 3. Part of why I'm so excited about this is because Witcher, the CD Projekt Red, is some of my favorite writers in video games, and then you add on the fact that it's impossible to watch a Cyberpunk 2077 trailer and not get hyped. It's just impossible. You just can't do it, Jeff. You're not a human. You can't do it if you don't.
Does this have the potential to be the biggest disappointment one of the biggest disappointments in gaming history?
It does, yeah. There's a lot of hype.
Where it gets things, the reason you get hype for it is because you see all these journalists that seen the behind closed door stuff, and we saw some of it later, but the journalists saw stuff in this past E3, and they're like, this stuff's amazing and all that kind of stuff.
And they were seeing like a full hour of the game, you know.
It's not just seeing a little clip and being like, okay. No, it's full seamless gameplay.
Yeah. And just the way that they're taking the almost tabletop approach to you, like you choose your backstory and you do all this other stuff, and the street kid corporate, it's like you can play this game in so many different ways, and the fact that you can never you don't fail a mission, the game just keeps going even if you're incompetent. Like it's just so many cool things. God,
God will be incompetent.
Yeah, yes, our stream character is going to be terrible. My number 4 is Ori and the Will of the Wisp. You can probably predict the exact order of my remaining ones, but yeah, we won't talk about it anymore. Need that game in my life right now.
Number 3, Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Top 3.
Yeah,
we made it. Yeah.
The game just looks incredible.
That makes me happy.
The game just looks incredible, Darby. It's not even a thing it's not even from a thing of it's your favorite game and the hype's rubbing off me. It just looks incredible.
It does.
Like, as we keep on talking about, this is going to be the gold standard for remakes. It's going to be an unachievable thing for any other remake to try to do unless they decide to put a crazy amount of budget and time into it.
No, they literally... Square did everything right. They have... The team is a combination of people who made the original Final Fantasy VII and people who grew up like me, who grew up loving this game. It's a combination of those two, and then it literally just seems like they're like, we know that people have been dragging us about this remake for so long. They're like, here's all the money you need, just make it right.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's so fucking cool that these people are now able to like, there's probably a lot of things they wanted to tell in just that Midgar section. Like they fleshed out Midgar, so they had such an idea. I mean, Midgar is just such a like iconic thing, and it's so cool that now they're able to like tell stories that they always wanted to tell. That they, Final Fantasy VII was like held together by strings, and it was like the most ambitious game of all time at the time. So there's a lot of things they weren't able to, and it's just so cool. Yeah. And I love that you're going to be able to experience that. Like,
it's going to be a failure in a way for this game if we don't come out of the end of the game and be like, give us that second part, you son of a bitches.
Right now.
Like, you son of a bitch.
Now we have to wait like 3 or 4 years.
I am very curious what the turnaround in between games is going to be.
It's probably going to be long, but it's going to be worth it.
Yeah, I am very curious. So.
My number 3 is Cyberpunk 2077. Yeah, the next 2 were the ones that like maybe, but we gotta see. Everything we just said. Man, how is this game my third most anticipated game of this year? How? Yeah. Do you realize how much more I'm excited about Cyberpunk than I am anything from this year? There's not a single thing that's even remotely close, and it's my third.
Just pretty wild. Okay, my number 2. The Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah. That is also my number 2.
So. All right, this game.
Yep.
It just looks great. Like, as we mentioned, we were going through the list. The gameplay just looks like a big step up.
I'm nervous about this game. Not about it being bad. I'm just nervous about, like, the shit that's going to go down.
Yeah. Wait, in the game or the discourse? Or both?
The game. I mean, discourse too, sure, whatever. But, like, people aren't going to stop me people aren't going to stop my hype for this game. I'm just talking about, like, shit is going to happen. This is not going to be a happy game.
It's not.
And that's just a testament to how much I care about Ellie and Joel. I'm like, legitimately, it's like I'm gonna be nervous going into that game of like what's gonna happen.
I think I got the collector's edition with the statue, maybe. I think I got that for you.
Nice.
I can't remember. I need to look.
With the clicker statue?
No, with the Ellie statue.
Ellie statue. Oh, okay.
I can't remember if I do. I need to look on that. I am very excited for this game. This nail it. It will be an all-time great, like confirmed for me.
Yeah. So just lock it in.
Well, we got your number 2 down.
Yeah, that was my number 2. It was
time for my number 1.
All
right, should we just go with yours?
Yeah.
Since it's the big non-surprise ever.
Yeah, the thing. All right. My number 1 is It's boyfriend dungeon. We did it, you guys. You predicted it.
Sorry, the funny thing we have Fast and Furious Crossroads.
Fast and Furious. It's really
Big The Rock fan.
Yeah, I'm a big The Rock fan.
Yeah.
I don't even think The Rock's not in that. Vin Diesel's in that.
The Rock's in Fast and Furious.
But this is a retelling of the first.
It is. I didn't pay attention.
Sure. Final Fantasy VII Remake. Yeah. Are you fucking kidding me? What else could it possibly be? My favorite game of all time, getting the best treatment it could possibly get. I'm becoming a kind of neurotic mess of rewatching trailers over and over and over again.
Derby, you got almost only 2 months to go.
I know, but it's getting too real, Jeff. It's getting too close.
Yeah, it is. Can't wait for it to be delayed.
Oh, Jeff, I can't. My heart. What's your number one?
Psychonauts
Hell
2,
yeah.
baby. I got a confession to make. It was my number 2. Last of Us number 1, but I switched it during this.
Jeff, you gotta go with your heart.
I got it. Derby, the further we get away from... And a couple other games I played earlier this year too, but further I get away from Psychonauts, the more I just feel like I love that game. I think it's like maybe a top 10er for me all time. The original Psychonauts.
Yeah, I get that vibe from even you talking about it when you first played it. And I feel like you said, every time we've talked about it since then, I can feel the love growing more and more.
I don't know. It's just like everything I love for like video games as far as like the... It's a lot like from obviously the platformer side of it and just the general fun vibe, the creativity of the levels and all that. Yeah. And the writing is fantastic. Like I've said every time, Psychonauts, if they really want to, they can make a animated show of this and it could be good. It could be a really good show.
Especially, I mean, some of the concepts that you've told me, it's like, yeah, this is like a kid's game, but like
then it can get really dark
cool
and kind of stuff. What the reason that makes me so excited for this more than any other game, the other stuff were, we talked about them to like they could go bad, they could whatever, no quantities. Psychonauts is one of the games just from level to level. I had no idea where I'm going to get into.
Yeah.
Like the levels, they could be really crazy. There's a lot of creativity in a 2005 game, like on the original Xbox 360 and all that, like those kind of power and stuff.
Yeah,
and it's kind of the power of like current gen consoles. Like
and it just the Psychonauts 2 is just like such a hard fought passion project from Double Fine. Everything Double Fine's been through, even outside of Psychonauts. It just. Yeah. I'm so excited. I mean, just from the gameplay we've seen, it's like I can see where the movement and stuff can feel better and all that. The writing's still there. The fact that they seem like got all the original voice actors for the characters that the main characters in there is awesome, great because it's one of those things of to me, and I feel like a lot of Psychonauts fans, those voices are the characters, like they fit perfectly. It would be very noticeable if they got like anyone else to voice those characters. And I mean, that was not. I'm sure that wasn't the easiest thing in the world. It's been a long time.
Not this much later and all that. And I'm very excited to see what in the world they do with all this crazy.
James Williams is a toilet.
That too. And what the fuck was Jack Black again? He's in the game, and I think he does a musical number.
Nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be fantastic. I'm very excited for it, and I'd gladly pay $60 for this day one straight up, no questions asked. But the fact it's on Game Pass makes it even sweeter.
That's awesome. Well, we knew this podcast was gonna be long. 2020. What the fuck is going on? Yeah. What did we do to deserve this?
Nothing.
All right, thank you guys so much for joining us. Check out Nerds and Dragons episode 1. Let me know what you think, what could be better, all that stuff. And good night and good game. I'm Ian Hink. Hello.
Let us know what games you're looking forward to.